Chapter 1741. After Chen Shang and Long Shui finished their meal and drank their wine, they did not stay in the hotel for long. They had already agreed to come back after a while. At the same time, he had asked Yang Yan to help him find ice and fire attributed holy fruits from the god's realm. After Chen Shang left, Yang Yan stood by the bedside, and looked at the Chen Shang who had disappeared at the end of the street, and sighed softly. Yan, I know you like to make friends, not bad, but this Chen Shang is too dangerous. Although he looks not bad, we still have to be vigilant, and we can't let Hell Devil Emperor know that you and he have dealings, otherwise it will be very troublesome. Suddenly, a middle-aged man dressed in simple clothing appeared behind Yang Yan. He was Yang Yan's father and master, Yang Kai Rui. Father, Chen Shang is a good person, I think that he will definitely have some accomplishments in the future, and as long as you treat him sincerely, he will also treat you as a good friend. Yang Yan said. Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. If something happens, I will take responsibility myself. You're my son. If something were to happen to you, how could I bear to let you handle it? Yang Kai Rui patted Yang Yan's shoulders. I hope you're not mistaken. Yang Yan said. What happened at Hell Devil Emperor? What happened to those two war gods? Quote. Furthermore, the person who killed them was not the Azure Dragon. Otherwise, no matter how close the relationship between the penalty heavenly god and the Azure Dragon is, he wouldn't be able to take advantage of the situation and send the Azure Dragon into hell. Su Yun said in a low voice. Hearing his father's words, Yang Yan was shocked and hurriedly said, So you're saying, those two war gods were killed by Chen Shang? How did he kill it? Impossible. Even if it is father, I am afraid that we cannot shake the body of the profound god, and even if it is possible, it would be very difficult to erase the soul. Quote. Yang Kai Rui nodded. That's why I'm worried that you and Chen Shang are getting too close and are causing trouble. If it was really Chen Shang who killed him, penalty heavenly god will also turn a blind eye. As long as Chen Shang did not take the initiative to look for penalty heavenly god will not look for him. Quote. However, the Hell Divine Palace and the War God Shrine are currently pressuring the penalty heavenly god. They hope that the penalty heavenly god will punish Chen Shang and send him to hell. Yang Yan frowned. Doesn't this mean that it will be detrimental to Chen Shang? If penalty heavenly god is unable to withstand the pressure, then Chen Shang will certainly be sent to hell, and will never be able to recover. Quote. Yang Kai Rui laughed. Don't worry, that penalty heavenly god fellow will not easily agree. Moreover, the more you force him, the more he will do the opposite. Back then, the god of fortune's ancestor had hardened his heart to send the Azure Dragon to hell, but the penalty heavenly god had always disagreed with him. You should tell him about this first, and let him be a bit mentally prepared. Quote. After Chen Shang left the Wind Eye City, he immediately ran to the Fengshen Native Bank and went straight to Yu Fan's residence. Of course, Yu Fan knew about the two war gods that the Hell Devil Emperor had sent. At that time, he thought that Chen Shang was definitely going to die, so he told Chen Shang to kill him. No matter what the result was, it would be beneficial to him. Now that Yu Fan found out that the two war gods had died and saw Chen Shang standing in front of him smiling, his heart skipped a beat. Master Yu, that Yang Yan is too powerful, I can't kill him, you better change your target. Chen Shang had no intentions to break off all decorum with Yu Fan yet. Of course, Yu Fan didn't know that Chen Shang had already become friends with him, nor did he know that Chen Shang had already understood his character. Not bad, Yang Yan is really strong, it's good that you're fine. Seeing that Chen Shang was still looking for him, Yu Fan was happy in his heart, because Chen Shang was an outstanding divine deity hunter. Chen Shang deliberately snorted coldly. Yang Yan is very strong, but I almost killed him. As long as I can cultivate an emperor soul, I can kill him. Seeing how serious Chen Shang was speaking, Yu Fan started to believe him. Right now, he was just curious how those two war gods didn't kill Chen Shang and how they died. Emperor Soul, Yu Fan asked. What is this? The name of God's realm was not Emperor Soul, but rather Soul Essence. The Green Dragon had mentioned it to Chen Shang before. Soul Essence, Chen Shang said. You still don't have Soul Essence left. Yu Fan was shocked, he thought Chen Zhang's strength should be close to that of a demigod. If I had it, I would have killed Yang Yan long ago. Chen Shang sighed. If only I had another divine deity, I would be able to kill Yang Yan. Yu Fan's heart suddenly thumped. He knew that Hell Devil Emperor had paid a huge price and sent two war gods to kill Chen Shang, But Chen Shang was still alive, while the two war gods were dead. Hell Devil Emperor would not deal with Chen Shang in the near future, because Hell Devil Emperor's vitality was greatly injured, and he would need a period of time to recover. He was definitely hoping that Chen Shang would be a bit stronger than him, so that he could continue to rely on Chen Shang to hunt divine deity. Now that he knew that Chen Shang did not have soul essence, he could kill powerful people like Sun Yu and Peng Renyi. If Chen Shang were to condense soul essence, then he would not need to think so deeply about the targets that Chen Shang would choose, and Chen Shang could also help him hunt for divine deity even faster. Yu Fan had suspected Chen Shang before, and he had even planned to borrow Chen Zhang's hand to kill him, but now that he saw that Chen Shang had still come back to him in a daze, he made him think that he had completely fooled Chen Shang. Lord Yu, this is the divine money you gave me last time. I didn't use it much, so I might as well return it to you. Chen Shang returned the hundreds of gold coins that Yu Fan had given him. Yu Fan received the divine money, and after careful consideration, he sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang. I'll give you Peng Renyi's divine deity, and help you cultivate and produce soul essence. But in the future, you have to help me hunt even more divine deity. Of course, when the time comes, you can also get some yourself. Quote. Is this appropriate? That divine deity is worth 20 million divine coins. Chen Shang asked. Of course it's appropriate, I'm helping you increase your strength, and you have to help me hunt more divine deity. This is a fair deal. However, after you have cultivated your soul essence, you must not look for Yang Yan again. His father is very powerful, and if you fail to kill him the first time, there will be no second chance. Quote. Yu Fan was worried that if Chen Shang went back again, he would lure the penalty heavenly god out, and Chen Shang would be dead for sure. Okay, as long as I can cultivate it, I will definitely help you hunt divine deity multiple times. Chen Shang said with a sincere face. Yu Fan took out a piece of divine deity and passed it to Chen Shang. Once you have cultivated the soul essence, come and find me immediately. Chen Shang received the divine deity, nodded his head, and then quickly left. He was overjoyed in his heart. He did not expect that it would be so easy to swindle Peng Renyi's divine deity from his hands. This bastard is too worried. After knowing that I had the strength to almost kill Yang Yan, in order for me to quickly hunt down more divine deity, I actually tripped. Chen Shang was overjoyed in his heart. Some people who were scammed would only fall for it because they were too greedy. Yu Fan thought that Chen Shang had no one to rely on in the divine prison, and only he was able to receive Chen Shang. He also thought that he had treated Chen Shang very well, giving him so much God's money was enough to bribe his heart, so he trusted Chen Shang very much. Chapter 1742. Chen Shang originally only wanted to give it a try, he was even a little worried that Yu Fan would see through him, and was already prepared to escape. Who knew that after a few casual words, Yu Fan would obediently take out Peng Renyi's divine deity. Obtaining this divine deity, Chen Shang returned to Bane II with an extremely joyful mood. Right now he already had 4 divine deity, 2 of them were average, and the other 2 were profound god-level divine deity. Furthermore, he had not refined the divine deity which had engulfed the Hell Prince back then, so he would refine the divine deity when he had cultivated them. This way, his emperor soul would become even stronger. Seeing that Chen Shang was in a good mood, the green dragon laughed and asked, "What are you so happy about? Could it be that you have hunted for divine deity outside?" Quote. Chen Shang laughed. Yes, I obtained the divine deity, but it was handed over by someone else with both hands. Then, he told Yu Fan about coaxing, causing the green dragon to laugh out loud. What's next? Will you still look for him? Quote. Of course I'll go, and I'll even go together with Yang Yan to play with him. Seeing that Yu Fan trusted him so much, Chen Shang must make full use of this point. Had played with him before too. Right, the War God Shrine and the Hell Divine Palace are pressuring Penalty Heavenly God right now. They want him to send me to hell. The green dragon stroked his beard and smiled. Don't worry, the more it is like this, the more Penalty Heavenly God will not agree. According to the rules set by the Penalty Heavenly God, when people intrude this place to kill people, he would normally not care much about it, not to mention that those 2 war gods took the initiative to look for you. That way, I can feel at ease. Had said the same thing before, but now that the Azure Dragon had said the same thing, Chen Shang felt even more at ease. I'm going to cultivate. I'll produce the Emperor Soul earlier. Chen Shang ran towards a cave that the Green Dragon had created for Chen Shang. They had already moved to a place with mountains and rivers, a place that had already been destroyed because of the great battle. Chen Shang entered a quiet stone room and started to circulate the heavenly alchemy's spirit refinement method, training his soul. The so-called Emperor Soul ability was actually a type of sacred art, but it was a very special ability, and most of them were unique and unique. For example, Long Shui's sleeping ability could also be considered a sacred art, and this sacred art was very powerful and mystical. Previously, when he was chatting with Yang Yan had said that it was usually called an innate ability in the gods' realm. Chen Shang was a little worried that her life ability was not suitable for him. Emperor Soul was the word for 9 heaven world, and in God's realm, it was called soul essence. The innate ability was born from this internal energy. As long as one cultivated a soul lattice from the internal energy, the soul lattice and divine deity would merge together and one could become a true god. The process was very complicated and difficult. The heavenly alchemy's spirit refinement scripture was similar to this, it was just that Chen Shang had not reached that stage yet. If he did not have a good cultivation method, it would not be easy for him to cultivate Emperor Soul. Both the 9-turn dragon god mantra and the heavenly alchemy were good cultivation methods, but Chen Shang mainly trained in the heavenly alchemy and the 9-turn dragon god mantra, so he did not cultivate the 9-turn dragon god mantra anymore. Although he was changing the cultivation method later on, Chen Shang was still able to adapt to it. Because the heavenly alchemy was originally very profound, it did not affect him. Chen Shang still had unrefined souls inside his divine deity, and these souls were all devoured by him and were all extremely powerful. As long as he refined these souls, he would be able to absorb a large amount of pure divine power from them and help him cultivate his internal energy. When Chen Shang closed his eyes to cultivate, half a year had passed unknowingly. His divine sense sea world had undergone a tremendous change. There was previously only a small island, but now there were only a few. All of the souls that he had devoured had been completely refined by him. At this moment, he could feel that there was something condensing within his own soul, a soul essence. Is it a ball of fire? Could it be that my innate divine ability is related to flames? Chen Shang was overjoyed, because this matched a few of his guesses. If this innate ability was related to flames, then it meant that his flames would become very strong. He was very satisfied with this innate ability. The internal energy of the soul slowly formed into a burning red sphere, located in the dantian of the soul. Has my soul become an emperor soul? That's soul essence. What is my innate divine ability? Although Chen Shang felt that his own soul had become much stronger, in other aspects, there didn't seem to be much of a change, so he had already opened his glasses. Long Shui anxiously said, I've been waiting for you. Did you manage to cultivate an emperor soul for a long time? How long have you been waiting? Chen Shang felt as if he had fallen asleep. It's been a year, Long Shui said. Hurry and answer my question. I'm not too sure either. I feel like I have cultivated an emperor soul, and I'm not too sure about my innate ability. How do I know? Chen Shang asked. First, try and see how strong your divine power is. If your power is many times stronger than before, that will mean that you have already developed a soul. Long Shui said. Chen Shang sat cross-legged inside the cave, looked at the ceiling, then channeled his god power and punched upwards. When he used the god power, he already felt that vast amount of god power unceasingly appearing in his body and rushing out from his arms. Boom! With only a dull quaking sound, the mountain he was on disappeared, leaving behind only an extremely terrifying heatwave. The azure dragon in the distance hastily rushed over with a surprised face. He clicked his tongue and said, such powerful godly strength. He melted this mountain in one go. Just now, Chen Shang had only tested the power within the soul essence, and he found that it had such an effect. What surprised him the most was that he could feel the remnant energy in the air. It was the energy contained within the mountain that he had broken down with his previous punch. He released his god power to gather the energy that he felt. In just an instant, that large amount of energy gathered together and turned into a small glowing particle, which had already condensed into a very small pellet. As expected, it has a lot to do with my cultivation technique. Chen Shang looked at the floating grain, and his heart was in ecstasy. So that means, if I use my innate divine ability, I might be able to concoct a holy pellet very quickly. The green dragon frowned. He is your innate ability. Is different from the Dan Emperor. Quote. Chen Shang asked anxiously. I heard that Dan Emperor can condense pills out of thin air. What is the situation like? Dan Emperor condensing a core out of nowhere is only limited to places where the energy is relatively abundant, where it can instantly condense the energy into a pill. However, you seem to be able to quickly dissolve all kinds of naturally formed things, and then quickly condense the energy into pills. Chen Shang asked. Senior, then what is your innate ability? The Azure Dragon laughed and said, your innate ability still needs to be excavated, otherwise you would not be able to know its true function. You should try again. The innate ability has all kinds of strange abilities. Your innate ability might not only be this way. The Azure Dragon avoided Chen Zhang's question. As Long Shui had said before, the Azure Dragon had always been concealing its innate ability. Long Shui had always been curious, and now Chen Shang was the same. However, if the Azure Dragon did not say, they could not do anything. You have cultivated an Emperor's soul, it is about time for you to leave. The Azure Dragon asked. But I still want to stay here for a while. I will first go find Yang Yan and see if he has anything that he wants from the God's realm. Chen Shang had previously planned to possess an Emperor's soul and leave this place after the divine vessel was completed. Then the Suzaku bow should have been successfully refined. See what happens when the four symbols divine weapons gets together. The Azure Dragon said with a smile, this is a mystery that has been bothering me for many years. Long Shui scoffed, your innate ability has also curious me for many years. Little girl, can you not talk about this? The Azure Dragon was very afraid that others would ask him about his innate divine ability. I also haven't asked you about your innate divine ability, have I? But you have already guessed what my innate ability is. Long Shui muttered. So this is very unfair. Now that we are prepared to solve the mystery of the four symbols divine weapons and satisfy your curiosity, why can't you satisfy our curiosity a little? The Azure Dragon sighed, actually, my innate ability is nothing, it's just a bit special. He must be very powerful. Long Shui had already come out of the quiet dragon ring, and was holding a large fiery red bow with carvings of the vermilion bird on it. The bow was giving off waves of red light, it was the Suzaku bow. The green dragon shook his head. My innate ability is very weak. This is also the reason why I don't want others to know about it. After the green dragon spoke, rain suddenly began to fall from the sky. He bitterly smiled and said, look, this is my innate ability. It's just rain, it's not bad at all. Long Shui's mouth was agape, she was stunned, her expression filled with disbelief, she suddenly wanted to laugh, but she still had a bit of conscience, and kept it in. Actually, old cyan bug, you don't have to be discouraged. You should cultivate the second divine deity and the second divine soul, that way you'll have the second innate ability. Or, you should dig deeper into your innate ability. Long Shui consoled. The green dragon replied, little girl, you must want to laugh. However, since you were able to console me, I'm quite happy. It's rare for you to have such a kind heart. Not only did you not laugh at me, you even comforted me. Quote. Actually, I have also been excavating the power of my martial spirit's ability. In addition to rain, I have another ability, and that is to merge the spirit liquid into the rain. This way, the plants that I've watered will grow very well. Chen Shang said. So you're saying, this ability is not suitable for you? What is the reason for this? The green dragon shook his head and said, I'm not too sure either. In short, I'm a tragedy. As for cultivating the second divine deity, second divine soul and second life ability, that is simply too far away. Because it's too difficult, I have tried it before. Quote. His innate divine ability could not be changed or given up. If it was inappropriate, he could only appoint someone else to it. Chapter 1743. Chen Zhang's innate ability could only display a small portion of his abilities right now. He still had to excavate it to know if he had any other abilities. Besides being able to quickly refine things, do you have any other abilities? You can release the energy within your soul energy right now to take a look. The green dragon said. Chen Shang channeled the energy of the soul inside his soul, absorbing a bit of the red mist from the fiery red bead, fusing it with the divine power, and then releasing it from his palm. It was a ball of flame. This flame was strange, because Chen Shang did not summon the power of the fire soul within his body, to actually be able to release flames as well. What a strange flame, it's not scalding, and it even contains life force. Could it be that this is that type of flame? Then, he took out a seed and threw it into the flames on Chen Zhang's palm. Do you need to expend your divine power to release the flames? The Azure Dragon carefully observed the seed that was being burned by the strange flame in Chen Zhang's palm. I need it, but I don't need it much. If I use more divine power, the flame will become a gush of gas and I can refine some things in an instant, just like before. Just as Chen Shang finished speaking, he saw the seed in the center of his palm crack. Under the burning of the flames, it actually sprouted. It really is this kind of flame. The green dragon said in surprise, this is a Chuangzhou fire. What kind of flame is this? Is there any difference between that and fire of chaos? Chen Shang was also very surprised in his heart. Not only did the fire not burn the seed down, it had also let the seed sprout. There is a saying that the Chuangzhou fire is a fire of chaos. Back then, even if all sorts of things were burned out, I still do not know the specifics. When you use Chuangzhou fire, you can let the seed germinate when the temperature is very low. If the temperature is too high, you can refine the seed into energy. It should be like that. The Azure Dragon nodded his head. This innate ability of yours is also very powerful. It will be of great help to you in refining pills. As for the innate divine ability, if it can be kept a secret, it would be best to not let anyone else know about it. Quote. Long Shui said, quickly use it to try and see if it's really helpful. Chen Shang immediately took out his pill furnace. I will refine a 9th level immortal stage Tianshan Dan right now. Chen Shang took out the Tianyun fruit that looked like bubbles and placed it inside the furnace. Previously, when he was refining the Tianyun fruit, he needed to use a very strong divine power and flames to refine it. Refining one furnace used up all of his divine power, but now that he had cultivated the Emperor Soul and obtained his innate ability to create flames, he felt that he would definitely refine it even faster. Once, Qing Long looked at Chen Shang concocting pills. He concentrated and released his divine power to sense the changes in the furnace. Chen Shang activated the special power inside his soul essence, using his innate ability to release that kind of Chuangzhou fire, and it was the strong type. Of course he wouldn't be so naive to think that this kind of flame could directly refine Tianyun fruit S. After all, Tianyun fruit S weren't normal flowers and plants, so he combined it with the heavenly alchemy's limitless god purification and used this technique to refine it. If it was before, Chen Shang would release a Taiji array at the bottom of the pill furnace to restrict the strength of the Tianyun fruit. Now that he was using the Chuangzhou fire to burn it, coupled with the heavenly alchemy, even if the Tianyun fruit released its defensive power, the effect of the energy wasn't too great, and was being slowly decomposed and refined by Chen Zhang's creative power. When Chen Shang saw that his innate ability was extremely useful in refining pills, he was ecstatic. Although he could only refine Tianyun fruit a little, but this was because the Chuangzhou fire he used was not strong enough. He immediately increased the intensity of the fire and continued to burn the Tianyun fruit. Right now, the Tianyun fruit only needed to release some of their defensive power, it would just be refined and decomposed by the Chuangzhou fire and the pure medicine aura would rush up to the upper level of the pill furnace. The refining speed was not very fast, but the process was very easy, and was not as tiring as the previous method, but now he still needed a bit of skill. He realized that the Tianyun fruit would consciously give up on resisting, and if his fire power was too strong, he would exterminate a large number of medicine aura, so he had to be very careful. The resistance strength of Tianyun fruit S would sometimes weaken, sometimes increase, or sometimes not even resist. After a period of time, they would resist again. Because it was his first time using his innate ability to refine pellets, Chen Shang was extra careful and used quite a bit of time. However, just like before, he only needed more than 2 hours to refine a batch of Tianshan Dan S. Previously, when he forged a cauldron of pills, his spirit energy was depleted. However, at this moment, he felt as though he hadn't expended much spirit energy at all. With his current strength, using the same old method would also consume a lot of energy. From this, it could be seen that his innate ability allowed him to concoct pills faster. 10 Tianshan Dan in one pot. The Azure Dragon exclaimed, truly powerful. If you could refine a sacred pill at such a speed and in such quantity, what would happen? Chen Shang chuckled. I will be able to concoct a holy pellet soon, I can take a look when the time comes, but the quantity of holy pellets that come out won't be that great. Previously, he was unable to refine a holy pellet because he did not cultivate an emperor soul and did not have enough divine power to support his flames. But now that he had cultivated an emperor soul and there was an extremely abnormal Chuangzhou fire, his confidence increased exponentially. You have quite a few holy level medicinal ingredients on your hands. You can refine holy elixirs in one of them. Although it is the lowest grade holy elixir, its effects are much better than eating the medicinal ingredients directly. Long Shui said, what pill do you plan to refine first? I plan to first use blood ginseng to refine pills and refine them into dragon blood Saint Dan. This kind of pill can strengthen the body and has a lot of uses. It is also very marketable. Chen Shang laughed. At that time, we can also give it to elder sister Mengerer and the others to eat. The green dragon asked, can I watch you refine pills? I want to witness the birth of a pill saint. Quote. Chen Shang laughed. Of course not. Just like this, Chen Shang did not enter the secret room of the cave, and planned to concoct pills outside. What about the Suzaku bow? Isn't it to test what will happen when 4 symbols divine weapons is together? Long Shui was still holding onto the Suzaku bow. The green dragon looked at the blood ginseng in Chen Zhang's hands and pondered for a moment. Then, he smiled and said, let's take a look at this kid refining the holy pellet first. I see that he is even more anxious to refine the holy pellet. Long Shui said, I don't care, but it will take me a long time to concoct the holy pellet. Chen Shang took a deep breath, adjusted himself, and checked if the blood ginseng was in good condition or not, and if it had any flaws. Chapter 1744. In order to strengthen his body, Chen Shang had previously eaten a large amount of blood ginseng. He understood blood ginseng very well, and this was one of the reasons why he chose to refine blood ginseng first. The strength of the blood ginseng is very strong, very arrogant and very explosive. Let me see, if I don't use my innate divine ability, will I be able to suppress it? Quote. Although Chen Zhang's ability was useful in refining pills, he did not plan to use it first when he was refining new pills, because it would cause him to rely more on his ability and thus reduce the proactive nature of his heavenly alchemy. He felt that if he could master the heavenly alchemy better, with his innate ability, he would be able to have a smoother time when refining pills. He would not forget his basic skills, he had to master it firmly, and only then would he be able to become stronger. Due to Chen Zhang's understanding of the effects of blood ginseng, he used the Tai Chi God purification from the very beginning. He first released a Taiji array under the pill furnace to restrict the berserk power released by the blood ginseng. When the blood ginseng encountered the burning rainbow sacred flame, it immediately released a dense red blood qi, causing the pill furnace to tremble for a moment. The blood qi suddenly exploded like a storm, wanting to destroy the multicolored sacred flame. Although the green dragon did not personally see it, he could sense the situation inside the pill furnace. He wanted to see how Chen Shang was going to solve this problem. Freeze. Chen Shang used more god power on the Taiji array, causing it to spin, creating a suction force that sucked the berserk blood qi back, wrapping around the blood ginseng. The Taiji array was spinning very quickly, and every second, it would spin around dozens of rounds, producing a very strong suction force. At this moment, even if the blood ginseng was constantly releasing blood qi, the blood qi was still absorbed by the Taiji array the moment it came out, spinning around it. Then, it was slowly refined by the 7-colored sacred flame Chen Shang released. Blood ginseng S were even more difficult to deal with than Tianyun fruit S. The inside of Tianyun fruit S only possessed a unique divine power, and blood ginseng S did not only have a unique divine power, the blood energy inside also carried the same kind of power as when they were released. He's here. Chen Shang suddenly felt that the blood ginseng had shrunk a little, and then suddenly swelled up, and actually knew how to circulate energy. Chen Shang anxiously increased the strength of the Taiji array, while the blood ginseng also suddenly spat out an even denser blood mist. It was as if a large amount of blood suddenly exploded inside the furnace. Fortunately, Chen Shang had prepared in advance to strengthen the Taiji array, absorbing all the blood energy that came out to prevent it from erupting. Otherwise, even the Yanlong furnace would have been injured. After Chen Shang had refined it for 4 hours, the blood ginseng had already become the size of a thumb. All of the blood qi inside the blood ginseng had been refined by Chen Shang, and the blood ginseng would erupt 13 times in all. Very quickly, the last bit of blood ginseng no longer had any fighting strength, and was very easily refined by Chen Shang using the rainbow sacred flame. A single blood ginseng had already been completely refined. Seeing Chen Shang reach this stage so quickly, the green dragon was extremely shocked in his heart. This was because Chen Shang had just started refining holy pellets, and had reached this stage so quickly. Although he did not know many pill saints, he knew a few of them. When he talked to the pill saints about how difficult it was to refine holy pellets just now, he even said that it was difficult to make a breakthrough, and only after many failures could he succeed. However, right now, he had personally witnessed Chen Shang refining this blood ginseng with his own eyes, and it could be said that everything went smoothly. However, he was very clear that Chen Zhang's own skill was indeed very high, and his pill refining skills were also different from other pill saints. Right now, Chen Shang had not succeeded in condensing a core yet, but the Green Dragon already knew that Chen Shang was not far from success. For many alchemists, every stage was extremely difficult, but for Chen Shang, refining a ring in the middle was the most difficult. The Azure Dragon could also tell, especially that Chen Zhang's ingenious method of handling the blood ginseng's violent spouting of power more than a dozen times would definitely be able to solve the problem of the final condensing of the core. Old cyan bug, are you scared? I'm already used to it. You haven't seen the most shocking thing about this little scoundrel when he was refining pills. Long Shui laughed. What scene? Although the Azure Dragon did not see the interior of the pill furnace, he was already very shocked. When he was controlling dozens or hundreds of pill furnaces at the same time, or when he used heavenly alchemy to refine all of the giant mountains within 5,000 kilometers into pills, and he refines people too. Long Shui thought that Chen Shang was extremely terrifying. He had all sorts of training methods. The Azure Dragon replied, that powerful. When there's a chance, we must definitely broaden our horizons. Back then, although Qi Shi this guy cultivated the heavenly alchemy, he did not use it for official business, and it was truly a waste of a heaven's gift. Quote, the other reason why Chen Zhang's refining skills were so terrifying was because he had cultivated the heavenly alchemy and at the same time, used the philosophic stone to comprehend the profound arts inside, and learned many different refining methods from them. Even back then, even Qi Shi was unable to comprehend much from it. This was also the reason why the Hell Devil Emperor was willing to sacrifice everything to capture Chen Shang. But even if he had to sacrifice everything, Chen Shang would still be able to live a good life. Old cyan bug, let's guess, how many Dragon Blood Saint Dan can this kid condense? Long Shui laughed. Well, under normal circumstances, a cauldron of divine pellets would normally be used, but when this little demon refined Tianshan Dan, he used a cauldron of 10, so I cannot use common sense to judge. The Azure Dragon thought for a moment. I think that if he were to refine this holy elixir, he should be able to condense 2 pellets. The Azure Dragon had been in God's realm for such a long time, he had heard of the powerful sacred pills there. It could be used to refine high-level sacred pills, but only a few alchemists could refine low-level sacred pills. Long Shui laughed. I think it's 3 pills. The Green Dragon frowned. How is that possible? I have seen Dragon Blood Saint Dan before. To be able to refine a high-quality blood ginseng into 2 high-quality Dragon Blood Saint Dan, that should be the limit. Furthermore, the pill saints that I have seen did not lose many medicine aura when they were refining the pills. Quote, you don't understand. If we didn't lose much, we would have lost more. Long Shui laughed and said, but Chen Shang can make full use of it, and when he uses fire, he also has some mysterious method to surpass his limits. In your eyes, forming 2 holy pellets is the limit, but with Chen Shang, the limit might be 3, or 5, or even 6. Long Shui said. The refining techniques he comprehended from the heavenly alchemy were different from others. The Green Dragon shook his head. Even if it's the limit, there is still a limit. Blood ginsengs are only so little. To be able to refine blood ginseng into a pellet is already not bad. After a blood ginseng refines a pellet, its effect is about 10 times that of the original. If 2 pellets is 20 times, I can accept that. But the 3 pills, that has already far surpassed the value of the blood ginseng itself, it doesn't make sense at all. Quote, betting or not? Long Shui laughed. Nope. The Green Dragon rejected it immediately, although he felt that giving 3 pills was extremely unreasonable, but he had no confidence now, because the one refining the pills was Chen Shang. Chen Shang opened his eyes and smiled. Fortunately Senior did not gamble, otherwise you would definitely have lost. The Green Dragon and Long Shui were arguing just now, so he did not pay attention to the situation inside the pill furnace. But now, he hurriedly used his divine power to sense around, only to discover that there were 3 cyclones inside the pill furnace. This caused the Green Dragon to immediately take a deep breath. From his heaven-defying pill refining skills, he could see Chen Zhang's future prospects, and might very well surpass him. Long Shui patted the Azure Dragon's shoulder, and laughed complacently. Now you know how powerful my man is. So don't worry, we can get you guys out of here soon. You just have to wait patiently. Quote, the Azure Dragon admitted that as long as Chen Shang could go to the God's realm, and not be suppressed by powerful forces and rely on the alive slain method to copy the medicinal ingredients and sell the holy elixir, he would be able to earn a lot of money very quickly. When you were refining pills, did you use the alive slain method? The Azure Dragon asked. He felt that this was the only possibility. It's been used. Alive slain method already has a strange ability, it can copy some things that contain spirit energy. When I am refining, I will use the profound methods in the alive slain method to copy a few medicine aura that are lacking, but this has a very high requirement on my divine power, I need to grasp them very accurately, otherwise, it will be very easy to failure. Quote. Chen Shang nodded his head and said, this is only what I have figured out just now. The alive slain method is also as profound as the heavenly alchemy. Sure enough, the Azure Dragon finally solved a mystery. It seems that even if I have the time, I still have to study those profound techniques. Otherwise, I will definitely be able to shake off a youngster like you. Chen Shang had already completed condensing the pill and opened the pill furnace. A red light shone and a faint fishy smell floated in the air. It was not the comfortable medicinal smell like before, but a normal phenomenon of dragon blood Saint Dan. The quality is quite good. The Azure Dragon knew with a sniff. Chen Shang took out 3 bright red pills from the furnace. His usually calm self couldn't help but become excited, his hands trembling, because he had refined the holy pellet. To cultivate the Emperor's soul and refine the sacred pills, this was his previous goal. Now that he had achieved everything, he felt that he could go back. Senior, do you want to try it? Chen Shang laughed. No need, let's just give it to those few girls, it's more useful to them. They have the dragon blood Saint Dan that you refined, so when they cultivate the body, they don't have to work as hard as you. Their bodies could grow stronger and endure stronger flames. At that time, the flames would also be able to rise as well. For a refiner, it's really impossible for the flame to be insufficient. The Green Dragon said. Lu Munger and the other girls were very talented in smithing. Although their strength was not very strong, they were already close to the level of divine craftsmen in the past. Chen Shang nodded. Thank you senior for showing concern for them. The Azure Dragon laughed out loud. We can now start to get involved with the 4 symbols divine weapons, and see what secrets are hidden inside. Let's see if it's like what little girl Dongfang guessed, that this 4 symbols divine weapons has even stronger divine weapons. Chapter 1745, Long Shui threw the Suzaku bow to Chen Shang. After Chen Shang received it, before he could drip his blood to recognize it as its master, the Suzaku bow had already started trembling, releasing waves of intense flames. There's a reaction. Chen Shang immediately dripped blood into the Suzaku bow, then activated the Vermilion Bird divine arts and fused with it. Feeling that he had fused with the Suzaku bow, Chen Shang suddenly felt the other 3 divine weapons inside his body appear. The Slaughter God's hand appeared in his hands, the Green Dragon Demon Slain broadsword appeared in his right hand, and the dazzling profound WU diamond armor wrapped around his body. His left hand held a bow and his right hand held a saber. Both divine weapons were emitting an intense glow that pierced the eyes. Chen Shang fused with the connection between the 4 symbols divine weapons causing the 4 symbols divine weapons to become even brighter. The multicolored light emitted by the 4 symbols divine weapons did not last long, and gradually dimmed down as Chen Shang continued to let the 4 symbols divine weapons merge with him. After the strong light disappeared, the Green Dragon Demon Slain broadsword in Chen Zhang's hand changed. It was no longer as big as before, it had shrunk down a lot, and its shape also changed a lot. On the original cyan-colored blade, a faint golden light appeared in the middle, with a golden dragon engraved on it. There was a pale silver halo around the handle of the saber, with a white dragon coiling around it. The profound WU diamond armor was originally glowing gold, but now it had turned deep red and mixed with some black, making it look even more low-key. It was not that stiff, just like a set of clothes that were slightly harder to wear. The originally white hands of the killer had now turned into black gloves, revealing the fingers. The Suzaku bow, on the other hand, was no longer flickering with red light like it was before. What's going on? How come the 4 symbols divine weapons looks like a whole new level? The Green Dragon said. It doesn't look as good as it did before, but in this way it looks very ordinary and not bad at all. Long Shui circled around Chen Shang. Looking at the set of profound WU diamond armor on his body, it didn't look like armor at all. Instead, it looked like an old set of clothes. Chen Shang said, what you all have seen were only illusions, and this is the most ancient set of 4 symbols divine weapons. Back then, when I came to this set of 4 symbols divine weapons, I did not consider its appearance so it was not eye-catching, but it was very strong, I can feel it now. The Azure Dragon said in shock, I didn't expect those girls to have guessed correctly, and also have an ancient 4 symbols divine weapons. In that case, this incomplete 4 symbols divine weapons of yours has hidden clues about the ancient divine weapon. Chen Shang nodded. They are all in the God's realm, I know where they are, and I'm in different places. Moreover, I feel like there's something hidden inside that set of ancient 4 symbols divine weapons. Long Shui laughed and said, Old cyan bug, in the ancient God's realm, there might also be an azure dragon, maybe it has something to do with you. Hard to say, my azure dragon is unique. If there had been an azure dragon back then I would have had a previous life. Then what about my previous life's memories? The green dragon frowned and said, Chen Shang, if you can you help me go to the 9 Heaven Devil Palace to find some clues? I feel that there are a lot of secrets hidden there. Chen Shang nodded. No problem, before I enter the God's realm, I will definitely go there and investigate. I believe that I have the strength to come out. I want to know too. Quote. Do I also have a past life? Back then, we were the same batch of saint beasts. Long Shui said, there's also the big white cat, vermilion bird, black tortoise and the other ancient holy beasts. Chen Shang had broken the connection between the 4 symbols divine weapons and the 4 symbols divine weapons, so the 4 symbols divine weapons in his body returned to its original state. At this time, Lu Munger's voice sounded out, Senior Azure Dragon, if you truly had a previous life, perhaps you would be able to awaken the memories of your previous life. Long Shui said, that's right. When I have time, I want to see whether or not the sealed memories of my previous life are hidden deep within my soul. The Azure Dragon nodded. I will definitely try it out in the future. Chen Shang gave the 3 pellets he refined to Lu Munger and Shui Shenxian. The 2 of them did not have any bloodline inheritance, so their bodies were relatively weak. I'm about to leave too, but I still have something to do before I leave. He wanted to find Yu Fan. Although he had obtained Peng Renyi's divine deity from Yu Fan, if Yu Fan wanted to kill him, he would not let this matter rest. As for Yang Yan, he had asked Yang Yan to buy the necessary holy level medicinal herbs from the God's realm, so he wanted to see if Yang Yan had managed to get any. Chen Shang quickly arrived at the hotel that belonged to Yang Yan in the Wind Eye City. Yang Yan was still as passionate as before, but when he saw Chen Zhang's arrival, he quickly greeted him warmly. It seems like you've become a little stronger. Although Yang Yan could not sense the change in Chen Zhang's strength from the aura, he could still make out some of it from the pair of eyes that had a confident light in them. The reason why I've been in seclusion for so long is for the sake of breaking through. Chen Shang laughed. Big brother Yang, have you gone to God's realm yet? Yang Yan poured a cup of wine for Chen Shang and said, I've been there once, I've brought the thing that you wanted. Yang Yan took out 3 jade boxes, and introduced the contents of the boxes as he opened them. This is the sacred flame fruit, an inferior grade holy elixir. This is the holy ice flower, and also an inferior grade holy elixir. The last one is a Saint Origin Qi Ginseng, it's mainly used to strengthen the soul. Not to mention those rare items, they are all low-grade holy medicines. As for medium-grade and high-grade holy medicines, they are also available, they are fairly expensive and will take a period of time to obtain. I have traveled to and from the God's realm, and have a time limit, so I can only obtain low-grade holy medicines. Yang Yan's face looked a little ashamed, because he felt that he could only get things of this level, and he really let Chen Shang down. However, for Chen Shang, the low-rank holy elixir was already very good. All of these could be refined into a holy pellet, and they were also extremely useful for people like Lu Munger and the others who cultivated both fire and ice. It's fine, it's very good for me. How much is that? Chen Shang asked. This is my gift to you, please don't raise the spirit money with me. Yang Yan anxiously made a gesture to stop Chen Shang from continuing to raise his spirit money. Chen Shang laughed and hastily toasted to Yang Yan. When I went back to the God's realm, I asked around too. The penalty heavenly god is powerful indeed. She was able to withstand the pressure from the Hell Divine Palace and the War God Shrine and not punish you. This is good news, but also bad news. As Yang Yan spoke of the bad news, the smile on his face suddenly disappeared. This made Chen Shang a little nervous and hurried him. What bad news? Is it against me? Quote. Yang Yan nodded his head. It is indeed disadvantageous for you, but at the moment, it is not a threat to you at all. If it continues, it will be hard to say, because you do not know how long you will have to stay here before you can leave. What do you mean? With the help of the Azure Dragon, Chen Shang could leave anytime he wanted. Hell Devil Emperor is preparing to send down a new batch of war gods and profound god. He used a lot of divine money before, and now he doesn't have much either, but he has promised that as long as you send your divine soul to hell, he will have a way to get the heavenly alchemy from you. After that, he will share the heavenly alchemy with the gods who cooperate with him. In the gods' realm, the heavenly alchemy is something that many heavenly gods would want to obtain, especially those divine halls that have a large amount of holy level medicinal herbs. If they have the heavenly alchemy, it would be able to raise the level of their alchemistess. Yang Yan drank a cup of wine and continued, the other gods are also considering this, even the wealth divine palace's god of fortune has such considerations if the god of fortune joins in a. Yang Yan did not say anything further. He knew that Chen Shang would understand what the consequences would be. The god of fortune is your martial ancestor. You revealed this secret to me. Aren't you afraid that he will blame you? Chen Shang laughed, without a trace of nervousness, making Yang Yan secretly admire him in his heart. But I've never seen him before, so I still have some feelings for him. Furthermore, my brand was made by the god of light, it has nothing to do with the god of fortune. Yang Yan said. Chen Shang suddenly had a feeling that the relationship between the brilliant god and the god of fortune might not be very good, even though they were master and disciple. Chen Shang, your current situation is very dangerous. If the god of fortune is also involved, with his financial resources, he can make over 100 profound god come here. When the time comes, the Azure Dragon will definitely not be able to resist, and you will also be in danger. Yang Yan was extremely worried for Chen Shang. Did you know, I'm going to penalty Heavenly God to ask about the price you paid to leave this place. How much? Logically speaking, I shouldn't have left. Chen Shang replied, I killed 2 fellows, so I should be sent to hell. If you were a prisoner here, then you would have long since gone to hell. However, you only entered here by accident, and the people you killed were all at a much higher cultivation level than you, so the Heaven's Punishment Palace made it a crime for you to protect yourself. However, this is only because you killed 2 war gods. If you want to leave, you have to pay 200 million spirit stones. Previously, Yang Yan thought that the 2 war gods were killed by the Azure Dragon, but he didn't expect that it was actually Chen Shang. However, he also guessed that it was definitely the Azure Dragon that had captured the 2 Aries and then handed them to Chen Shang to kill. He was extremely curious about how Chen Shang had actually killed that powerful war god. At least, he couldn't do it, even if war god didn't have any fighting strength. Chen Shang smiled mysteriously, you don't have to worry, I have other ways of getting out. Upon hearing his words, Yang Yan immediately laughed, so that's how it is. You caused me to worry so much that I had to die. Chen Shang smiled and punished himself for 3 cups of wine before saying, I plan to kill Yu Fan before I leave. This guy almost caused my death, I can't let him be so carefree. Oh right, I got a set of divine deity from him. Chen Shang laughed out loud as he heard Chen Zhang's story of him lying to Yu Fan. After Yang Yan finished laughing, he said, it's not easy for you to get rid of him. He's protected by the penalty heavenly god, and the moment he encounters any danger, the penalty heavenly god will immediately appear. As long as the penalty heavenly god appears, you'll also be in a lot of trouble. Chapter 1746. It was extremely difficult to kill Yu Fan, not because his strength was lacking, but because of the penalty heavenly god. Furthermore, a large portion of Yu Fan's strength was sealed, making killing was much easier. Chen Shang said, let me think again, I will definitely think of a good way. Next, I will feign to help him hunt divine deity. If I am unable to think of a way in a short period of time, I will leave this place. Quote. Yang Yan nodded. Then it's best if you don't come see me too often. It's not good for Yu Fan to discover me, and if you leave at that time, there's no need to say your goodbyes anymore. I believe we can reunite in God's realm. Then let's drink to our heart's content today. The 2 of them drank until deep into the night. Chen Shang rushed to Yu Fan's residence without stopping. When Yu Fan saw that Chen Shang had arrived, the doubt in his heart had already been dispelled. Lord Yu, thank you for the divine deity. I have successfully condensed my soul essence. Chen Shang revealed an extremely grateful expression, I've made you wait for a long time. Yu Fan nodded his head, then sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang. I have long since helped you find a target, that guy's name is Jin Yang. Yu Fan tapped the center of Chen Zhang's brows with his finger, transmitting the details of Jin Yang to Chen Zhang's mind. This fellow is quite formidable, he might need some time. When Chen Shang heard Jin Yang's detailed information, he already had a plan in mind. As soon as possible, Yu Fan nodded. Chen Shang was immediately powerful. Yu Fan frowned as he looked at Chen Zhang's message, and sighed, because he could only rely on the god of fortune to work together with the Hell Devil Emperor, and at that time, Chen Shang would definitely be done for, and that was why he got Chen Shang to help him hunt divine deity as soon as possible, otherwise, he would not have the chance to do so in the future. This guy thinks you're dead for sure again, but he's not stupid and wants you to kill someone like Yang Yan. Long Shui laughed. If he wants me to send myself to my death, then his losses will be great, because he has already used a divine deity on me. Furthermore, he has also given me many benefits, but it is not like he will lose money. As long as I help him get a set of divine deity, he can make a comeback. Quote. Chen Shang said. The guy who went to kill was not very strong, but he was very fierce and had been expelled by many cities. Although Jin Yang did not kill anyone, he liked to beat people up. Because Jin Yang was forbidden from entering the city, he could only stay in the outer parts of the mountains. The place Chen Shang wanted to go to right now was the very mountain where Jin Yang frequently visited. Have you decided how to kill Yu Fan? Long Shui asked. It's best for you to leave quickly. If the god of fortune decides to join in, then there will be a huge problem. I have already thought about it, but I will need the help of elder sister Menge'er and the others. Chen Shang left the city, and after confirming that no one was following them, he released the Azure Dragon Cloak. What do you need our help for? Lu Meng'er asked. We don't know how to kill people. I'm good at it, but I'm not strong enough for now. Leng Yulan shouted excitedly. I'm not asking you to kill someone. It's time for you to make something for me. Chen Shang stood on top of a tall mountain and released his divine power to search for Jin Yang. Shui Shenxian said. You want us to refine a fake divine deity to trick Yu Fan? Chen Shang laughed. I guessed half right. I want you all to refine a piece of true divine deity, and explode it within a set amount of time, and blast Yu Fan to death. This is not easy to refine. You are an alchemist, and you even refined those destructive ice seal Dan, you should be more skilled at it. Dongfang Xinyue said. When the time comes, Yu Fan will definitely hide his divine deity inside the divine sense sea, completely isolating himself from the outside world. I remember that there is a method to refine divine deity into an offensive treasure in that divine book. Think about it again carefully and see if there is one that can explode at a fixed time. Chen Shang quickly located Jin Yang's location. Alright, let's temporarily suspend the refining of the divine vessel and go read the divine book first. Lu Meng'er said. Chen Shang used the Azure Dragon Cloak and instantly appeared behind Jin Yang. This Jin Yang had a delicate and handsome appearance. One couldn't tell that he was a notorious violent madman. It was said that those that had been beaten by him would be crippled. Since he didn't kill anyone, he wouldn't go to hell. Jin Yang had also cultivated Emperor Soul, which could be considered a demigod, just like Chen Shang. Seeing that Chen Shang had suddenly appeared in front of him, Jin Yang did not say a word, took out a huge rod, and smashed fiercely towards Chen Shang. His pretty face turned sinister, as if he wanted to smash Chen Shang into a meat patty. Jin Yang's rod fiercely smashed into Chen Zhang's body, smashing half of his body into smithereens. You overestimate yourself. Jin Yang looked at Chen Shang who had half of his body smashed away, and snorted coldly. However, what he did not know was that the one that was smashed apart by Chen Shang just now was an illusion created by the spell Chen Shang released. The real Chen Shang was at a high mountain in the distance, pulling open the Suzaku bow's profound bow, and a silver-white arrow suddenly appeared on it. Let's test the strength of the Suzaku bow. The bow that Chen Shang formed used a large amount of divine power, along with the power of his soul force's innate ability. The golden sun walked towards the illusion and was about to kick the Suzaku bow. The Suzaku bow's bow shook and with a swoosh, the silver-white bow arrow pierced through Jin Yang's body and exploded inside him in the blink of an eye. Jin Yang howled in pain as he looked down at the gaping hole in his stomach. So strong. Chen Shang heaved a sigh of relief, but that arrow just now had consumed half of his divine power. Chen Shang kept his Suzaku bow and came over to the crazy Jin Yang's back. He summoned his green dragon demon slain broadsword and chopped his head off, then used soul-absorbing devil spell and devouring magic kung fu to skillfully absorb the divine deity and the divine soul. Isn't this guy pretty good? Chen Shang did not expect to succeed so easily. Isn't it all because of the Suzaku bow's power, taking advantage of the moment when the others weren't prepared, attacking from afar, and furthermore, focusing its power on a bow? It would be strange if it wasn't powerful. However, if you were to fight with this guy normally, the amount of divine power you would use up would probably be just a little. Long Shui said. Chen Shang placed his divine deity inside the ring, allowing the girls to think of a way to refine it. At this time, he also returned to Bane too. Senior, there is news that is considered good news for you. However, it is also bad news. Chen Shang said. What and what? Hurry up and say it. The Azure Dragon did not understand. Hell Devil Emperor intends to cooperate with the other gods. As long as you work with him to kill me, when he obtains the heavenly alchemy, he will share it with the gods. I heard that there are many Empyrean gods who are ready to make a move. Even the God of Fortune is thinking the same thing. If the God of Fortune also joins, then there will be a lot of profound god and war gods who will come here to deal with me. Chen Shang said. This is good news. The Azure Dragon immediately became excited. Come on, come on. Come practice with me. Chen Shang laughed bitterly. The bad news is, if I had left, they would not have come. Chapter 1747. When the Green Dragon heard Chen Shang say that he wanted to leave, he immediately shouted anxiously. Don't leave, wait for those guys to come, then I will send you away. Chen Shang hesitated, then said, what if they have too many people, and you can't handle them? I'm not even afraid, what are you afraid of? They don't dare to kill me either, there's penalty heavenly god watching them. The Green Dragon grabbed Chen Zhang's shoulders with both of his hands and started shaking him. Don't be in such a hurry to leave this place. Even if you do me a favor, I'll be even more bored if you leave. Are you sure you don't have to worry? If the God of Fortune really joins, then it'll be hard to say for sure. Chen Shang was still a little worried, he did not want to kill Azure Dragon. If I say it's fine, then it's fine. You really don't have to worry about me. When the Azure Dragon thought of the large number of profound god war gods, he became extremely excited. Alright, when those fellows come, you will immediately send me off. You're not afraid of them, I'm afraid. Chen Shang said, will you be able to send me away then? Of course I can make it in time. I'll be able to get you away soon, so you can rest easy. The Azure Dragon said with a smile, if they really come, then I have a chance for a breakthrough. With these guys here playing with me, I won't feel bored in the future. Chen Shang curled his lips. The Green Dragon actually thought of this as a game. That was a very dangerous thing to do. Upon knowing that the God of Fortune might want to join, he started to panic. I'm going to start concocting pills. Chen Shang sat down under a tree and took out a blood ginseng. He then continued to refine more dragon blood Saint Dan, and when he returned back, he would give some of them to his friends in order to rope them in. It was just that he did not have enough spirit liquid right now, and could not duplicate too many of them. Recalling how he had eaten so many blood ginsengs alive before, Chen Shang felt a wave of pity. If he had used all of them to refine dragon blood Saint Dan, he would definitely be able to obtain a lot of them. I can only return to LV Kilian to condense those spirit pearls together. This way, I can quickly obtain a large amount of holy level medicinal herbs. As he thought about how he had an intimate relationship with LV Kilian, Chen Shang couldn't help but think back to the past. Elder Sister Menge'er, when can you refine that divine deity again? Chen Shang asked. It would be best to refine it before those war god profound goddess come. I don't want to go crazy together with the Azure Dragon. Let's wait for another 2 to 3 days. This is our first time refining it. We need to be careful. Lu Meng'er replied. Chen Shang only had 3 blood ginseng left. He could only refine 2, and he would need to keep 1 for replication. This time, he successfully refined another batch and obtained 3 dragon blood Saint Dan. However, he still did not use his innate ability to refine them. Try using your innate divine ability this time. After Chen Shang placed the blood ginseng into the pill furnace, he used the power of the sacred art inside his soul essence to release the creator's fire and poured it into the furnace. After the blood ginseng was burnt by the flame, it immediately erupted into a ball of blood qi, causing the pill furnace to shake non-stop. Chen Shang increased the intensity of the big flame, at the same time using the Tai Chi God purification to suppress the resistance released by the blood ginseng. The flames released by his innate ability were extremely powerful, and the speed of the refined blood ginseng was much faster than when he used the rainbow sacred flame. It seems that as long as I use a normal refining method and use this life ability, it will become much easier. Chen Shang felt that this furnace refined much faster than the previous 2, and it consumed much less energy. The Saint Revitalizing Pellet should be a mid-tier Saint Pellet. Refining all kinds of holy level S into one is extremely difficult. Looks like Feng Yuji's skill in pill refinement is extremely high. Chen Shang felt that he couldn't even refine a medial grade holy pellet now. When he thought of Feng Yuji, Chen Shang immediately thought of the two that Feng Yuji had adopted as his goddaughter. This made him even more anxious to return. Lu Meng'er, Shui Shenxian and the others already knew that Long Shui and Su Meiyao had told them. I am now a pill saint. Wait until I go to God's realm, I will definitely become a pill god. Chen Zhang's goal was also higher. He found out from the Azure Dragon that there were not many pill gods in the God's realm. The trembling Yanlong furnace suddenly calmed down. Chen Zhang's eyes flashed with flames, he clenched his fists and bellowed, gather. The 3 cyclones inside the furnace began to search and quickly formed into pills. The Azure Dragon watched from the side and said, is it done? It's done. It's a bit faster than the previous 2 batches. Chen Shang opened the pill furnace and took out 3 blood-red dragon blood Saint Van's. Although there was a faint smell of blood, it did not make anyone uncomfortable. Using an innate divine ability is different. It's actually so much faster. The green dragon felt surprised. In God's realm, for a normal pill saint to refine this kind of pill, they would need at least a few days. Even the faster ones would be slower than you. Long Shui laughed. You have yet to see anything faster, it's just that his current experience is insufficient. Otherwise, why don't you show him the 100 blood ginseng he has refined so that he can have a look, and at that time, his refining speed will be even more astonishing. What Long Shui said was right. Chen Shang was very familiar with this dragon blood Saint Dan. Adding on to the fact that he was using Dawen refining method, he was refining multiple batches at the same time, his speed and quantity of pills being produced would not decrease at all. If I were to use my innate ability to refine low-grade immortal pills, I might not even need a pill furnace. I could just finish it with the palm of my hand. Chen Shang laughed. This life ability is really something good, to be able to produce such a magical power. If I could cultivate a second life ability, wouldn't that be even better? Senior, did you see any deities in the God's realm who could cultivate the second life ability? Chen Shang asked. He knew that this was not an easy task, because the Azure Dragon did not have a second life ability right now. I've seen them before. Basically, there are Empyrean gods in the divine halls, some are 3rd or 4th, and then, this will be used to measure their strength. I heard that the stronger an Empyrean god is, the more divine deity they have. The green dragon sighed. I am also trying to cultivate, but it will be very difficult, unless I can become a super profound god. At that time, as long as I can cultivate the second divine deity, I can become a god. This is a very distant matter, you'd better not think too much about it. Come one step at a time. Chen Shang nodded, and asked, Senior, when the time comes, how will you send me out? The time in this place is very chaotic. Quote, I have my ways. As long as you are not a true god, I can send you out. Didn't the vermilion bird have the same cultivation as you before, so I also gave her out. The Azure Dragon said with a smile, you don't have to worry. When you send me out, you will definitely consume a lot of energy. How can you withstand the profound god and war god who are surrounding and attacking you? Chen Shang remembered that the Azure Dragon had said before that it would take a lot of energy to send him out of the divine prison. Chapter 1748. The Green Dragon told Chen Shang not to think too much. Although he was confident that he could handle it, Chen Shang was still worried. Chen Shang stayed there for a few days. Lu Meng'er and the other girls also finished refining the divine deity. Right now, those profound goddess and war gods have yet to come down. It's not like I can't leave this place too quickly and kill Yu Fan. I'm afraid the penalty heavenly god will appear. Chen Shang looked at the divine deity in his hands and became a little hesitant. This divine deity will explode in 5 days, even if placed inside the storage magic treasure, it will still explode out. The main reason is because it will detonate the powerful energy contained within the divine deity, so you only have 5 days. Shui Shenxian said, when the time comes, I will ask Grandfather Azure Dragon and see if penalty heavenly god knows about this. It would also be against the rules for Yu Fan to hunt divine deity here, so he deserves to be killed. Quote. The Green Dragon said, it's fine, as long as you don't do it yourself. There's nothing much to say about penalty heavenly god, but at that time it will be a little troublesome. After all, Yu Fan is someone that God's realm sent down. If Feng Shen wants to pursue the matter, it would be hard to say. After Chen Shang heard the Azure Dragon's words, he took the divine deity of 10 million Feng Shen native bank and went to find Yu Fan. At least he had earned a set of divine deity now. He was also worried about the S that were coming down from God's realm, as he felt that it would be the time of Chen Zhang's death. Any new targets? Chen Shang laughed. This time, progress is more successful. Not at the moment. Wait a little longer. Yu Fan had thought about it carefully previously and decided not to let Chen Shang hunt divine deity for him anymore. Lord Yu, I'm in urgent need of some divine money to purchase a good magical equipment. Can you give me some first? Chen Shang also wanted to take this opportunity to earn some money. How much do you need? Yu Fan asked. $800. The divine money that Chen Shang wanted was for Tai Chang. He promised to help Tai Chang return to the God's realm, since Tai Chang had helped him before. I only have 700 for now. Yu Fan pondered for a moment and gave Chen Shang 700 gold. Chen Shang left a secret mark here and he soon found out that Tai Chang was currently in a small city nearby. After arriving at the small city, Chen Shang found Tai Chang, and without a word, he stuffed the storage bag back to Tai Chang. There are 700 gold coins in here. That should be enough for you to leave. Chen Shang sent a sound transmission to Tai Chang. I am hiding behind a lot of trouble, quickly leave. Don't ever let Yu Fan have his eyes on you, he already wanted to kill me off. Quote. Tai Chang was extremely grateful to Chen Shang. He also didn't expect that Chen Shang, a person who had just arrived at divine prison, would already have obtained this much divine money to help him leave the divine prison. No need to thank me, farewell. Tai Chang left very straightforwardly. Watching Tai Chang leave, Chen Shang hoped that he would become stronger in the future when he reached God's realm. It's time to go back. It's safer to stay by Azure Dragon's side. When Chen Shang returned to the second calamity, he saw the green dragon standing at the top of the mountain all day with a face full of anticipation, waiting for those profound goddess to come. After Chen Shang returned, the green dragon came down from the top. Being locked in this place was indeed very boring. Other than cultivating, he wanted to find some fun. Senior, I'll return this to you. Chen Shang handed the green dragon cape to the green dragon. From now on, don't run around. As long as I sense the arrival of those fellows, I will immediately send you away. As long as you are by my side, you will be fine. The green dragon took the cloak. This cloak was also a pretty good divine tool, and Lu Munger and the others had already researched it before. Right now, Shui Shenxian and the others were focused on refining the divine vessel in the ring. To them, the most difficult thing was smelting those top stones, but fortunately Chen Shang had bought a divine furnace for them before, so they could be of great use during the smelting process. Furthermore, the green dragon was also injecting a ball of fire into the ring, so they only needed to control the flame. 3 days had passed, and Chen Shang was leaning on a tree and studying the heavenly alchemy. At this time, just as dawn broke, the green dragon cried out in alarm, and suddenly appeared in front of Chen Shang. He's here. The green dragon's face was filled with excitement. Brat, we'll be saying our goodbyes like this. Be good to that little girl and don't let her die again. As the green dragon spoke, he released a very powerful dragon god power. The space behind him began to fluctuate. What shocked Chen Shang was that he felt a type of power of law from the terrifying dragon god's power of the Azure Dragon. Because he possessed the spatial rule spiritual bead, he was extremely familiar with this kind of power of law, even though it wasn't the same kind of power as himself. It's the time laws. Chen Shang was extremely shocked. The green dragon actually grasped the laws of time, no wonder he could send him away from here. Goodbye. After the green dragon finished speaking, he anxiously turned around and threw Chen Shang into the spatial tunnel that was opened behind him. Before Chen Shang even had the chance to say his goodbyes to the Azure Dragon, he had arrived in a forest filled with purple light. It's the purple leaf forest. I'm back. Chen Shang landed on a tree branch and shook off a purple glowing leaf. After the green dragon sent Chen Shang away, a ray of rainbow light suddenly appeared above him. Hundreds of profound god wearing different colored sacred armor that emitted different colored rays of light appeared with divine weapons in their hands. Before they had come, they already knew what kind of expert the Azure Dragon was. But now, seeing that the Azure Dragon was only a small old man, they couldn't help but feel disdain in their hearts. You guys are looking for Chen Shang, right? He has already left. The green dragon laughed. You came here for nothing. You should know that after entering the divine prison for 1 year, you can pay the divine money to leave, which also means you will have to stay here for another year. I am not looking for Chen Shang. The mission you guys received was to come here and defeat you, and to cripple you. A large man said coldly. After that man said that, dozens of profound gods stepped forward. We are here to deal with Chen Shang. These 100 or so profound goddess all carried out different missions. Regardless, you will still have to stay here for a year. The Azure Dragon laughed loudly. This 1 year's time is enough for me to defeat you and cripple you. After the Azure Dragon finished speaking, a great battle immediately broke out. Chen Shang returned to the Life Forest. He was a little worried about the Azure Dragon, but worrying was useless. The Azure Dragon knows the time laws, but he might only have an initial grasp of it, otherwise he can definitely leave the divine prison. Chen Shang said. Old Cyan Bug is truly powerful. Back then, I was slightly stronger than him. Now, I am truly inferior to him. Long Shui sighed. I might be able to become an Empyrean god in the future. Chen Shang looked around. We can go back now. Even if a large group of strong of Lord Stage comes to capture me, they won't be able to do anything to me. After returning, Chen Shang was able to use the power of the spatial laws. He opened a spatial passageway and returned to DTN. Is this DTN? Chen Shang exclaimed. Are you in the wrong place? You haven't used the law of space for so long, and you're already unfamiliar with it. Long Shui anxiously said. Even though the place Chen Shang resided was a forest, the concentrated Holy Spirit energy here was like the best location among all the endless heaven realms, like a high-grade holy stone mine. Chen Shang could not help but suspect that there was a dragon vein of the holy stone here. That's right, this is DTN. Chen Shang was extremely certain. Could it be that a long time has passed here and then we grew up? Lang Yulan was a little worried. Then won't we be left behind the others? Yulan, you have my white dragon vein, you don't have to worry about falling behind. With your brother, the Pill Saint, you can quickly surpass me. Long Shui laughed. Chen Shang said, this used to be a city but it is no longer here. How long has it been since DTN arrived? Chen Shang floated high in the sky, and once again opened a spatial passageway. This time, he arrived at an extremely large city. The city where the hundreds of flowers palace used to be, has actually become so huge. Chen Shang floated in the sky and looked down at the endless buildings below. What a strong defensive array. I can't even use the power of space to break through it. Chen Shang was shocked once again. He then landed on the ground and stood in front of the gigantic city gate, looking at the 4 big words, 100 Blossom Holy Nations. How many years has it been? From those 4 words, Chen Shang could tell that this place had already been completely occupied by LV Kilian, and that she had even become a true flower emperor. When Chen Shang entered the city gates, he needed to explain his identity and background. Moreover, he had previously discovered that there were quite a few disguised people who would be reflected in the huge mirror placed beside the city gates when they entered. Chen Shang took out the order badge from the Flower Emperor and handed it over to the city guard. The guard took a look at it and immediately became respectful towards Chen Shang. It's been so long, but this brand is still so useful. Chen Shang kept the plate and easily entered the city gate. There were 2 areas, one was the teleportation area of the 100 Blossom Holy Nations, and the other was the teleportation area of the 100 Blossom Holy Nations. Chen Shang arrived at the teleportation area and saw the Ice Dragon Holy Nations, Demon Suppressing Holy Nations, Fire Divine Nations, Holy Ice Nation, Holy Thunder Nation. From those names, he could tell what kind of powers these holy nations were originally. Divine Feather Nation. Feng Yuji is here too. Long Shui said. What happened to DTN? The power of the Holy Spirit is so dense, that even endless heaven realms were left far behind, and have all come here brazenly. Chen Shang said. Could this be one of the 3 water overlords of the sacred water heavenly realm, the floating city? Back then City Lord was a good person. I helped you stop the group of strong of Lord Stage chasing after you. Long Shui said. The Hu clan of one of the 3 water overlords should be that sacred marquee country. She should also be here. Dongfang Xinyue clenched her teeth. She was indeed wanted by the Hu clan at that time. There's also the Supreme Holy Nations, Saint Evil Kingdom. It's good that these guys are here, so I don't have to run around and chase them down. Chen Shang sneered. Lang Yulan said. Brother, why is there no dragon subduing holy nations? Chapter 1749. The strength of the dragon subduing school should also be at the top, and should be very strong, and should be able to establish a holy nations. But right now, Chen Shang has yet to find any transmission arrays from the teleportation area that can teleport to the dragon subduing holy nations, and not even near the dragon subduing school. With Duan Ming and Master there, With their strength, they should be very strong now. Dragon subduing school should be fine. Chen Shang calmed himself down. Furthermore, he would not let the dragon subduing school be destroyed just like Zhongsheng and the others. As long as they were there, even if the other holy nations wanted to attack the dragon subduing school, they had to be prepared for a huge battle. The 100-flower Emperor Palace had been expanded to become even more grand and vast than before, and the formation that enveloped the hundreds of flowers palace was even more powerful than before's divine power was unable to penetrate through. Unless he forcefully sent his divine power in, it would definitely be discovered, and he wouldn't be able to enter and leave as he pleased in the past. Who helped her build that formation? It's so powerful. Long Shui also tried it. If she continued to increase her divine power, it would alarm hundreds of flowers palace. The changes were so great. When we left that time, there were no such powerful restrictions. Lu Meng'er was surprised. How long have we been gone? Chen Shang also wanted to know the answer, so he held the jade tablet and directly went in through the main entrance of the hundreds of flowers palace. Chen Shang was brought by a beautiful girl into a living room. The place was filled with fragrance, the decorations were simple and elegant, the flowers and tea were delicious and sweet, causing Chen Shang to suddenly want to stay there for a while. After arriving at the hundreds of flowers palace, Lu Meng'er and the others did not come out. They still had to refine the divine ship inside, so they were worried that they would be disturbed after coming out. Chen Shang, who was enjoying his tea, suddenly sensed a familiar aura. He anxiously turned his head, and saw a beauty with short hair that was shoulder to shoulder. Although she looked cute and exquisite, her body had a cold and proud temperament, especially her dignified eyes, making people fear her, and not underestimate him just because of her soft body. This woman was LV Kilian's most prized subordinate, Little Lizzie. Little Lizzie. Seeing that Little Lizzie was so powerful, Chen Shang could not help but exclaim in shock, "How did you become so powerful?" When Little Lizzie saw that Chen Shang had changed back to his original appearance, he knew that it was Chen Shang. She had already known that someone was carrying LV Kilian's secret order to enter hundreds of flowers palace. After seeing Chen Shang, Little Lizzie's cold and dignified eyes became a little gentler. She had a special kind of complicated feeling towards Chen Shang, which was hard to put into words, because Chen Shang had risked his life to save her before, and they were both in her most dangerous moments. Furthermore, Chen Shang treated her very well, and was also very powerful. "Chen Shang, you're finally back." Little Lizzie anxiously walked in and whispered, "Follow me." Chen Shang followed behind Little Lizzie as she giggled while staring at her slim back. Little Lizzie was wearing a white tight suit which made her body look curvaceous, especially her perky buttocks. When she walked, Chen Shang revealed a mischievous smile. Humph. Little Lizzie never thought that Chen Shang would still be the same as always, teasing her like this. Little Lizzie brought Chen Shang into a secret room and immediately asked, "Where are Meng'er and Shenxian? Aren't they with you?" Quote. Chen Shang nodded. "They are together with me. They are doing very well. How long have I been gone?" "There's been a huge change in DTN." Quote. "You've been gone for 5,000 years, and you don't know about it." Little Lizzie was a little surprised. What kind of experience did you experience after entering the dark area of the life forest? He actually doesn't know how time has passed. It's a long story. Chen Shang and the few girls were extremely shocked. They did not stay in the divine prison for long, and it had actually been 5,000 years. "Where are Kilian and the rest? Are they all right?" Chen Shang asked. Little Lizzie shook his head. "Many things have happened. Asgard Master brought a group of disciples away from the hundreds of flowers palace." Chen Zhang's heart immediately became anxious. Grabbing onto Little Lizzie's shoulder, he asked anxiously, "Where did you go? When did this happen?" Quote. "You don't have to worry too much about what happened 3 years ago." Little Lizzie anxiously said, and got rid of Chen Shang. "With Great Emperor Lu with them, you do not have to worry, many experts will be there." Hearing that LV Zhen was going with him, Chen Shang felt a lot more at ease. "Right, has there never been a great battle here in the past 5,000 years?" Chen Shang was a little surprised. So many powerful forces of the endless heaven realm had all come here, but this place was actually so peaceful. "It happened once 2,000 years ago. At that time, your dragon subduing school would have been taken down, your evil dragon graveyard would have been destroyed, your dragon subduing school would have disintegrated." Little Lizzie saw Chen Zhang's expression darken, and said again, "We all have a way to help them, but after Clan Elder Huang made the decision to give up on dragon subduing school, if not the casualties would be extremely heavy." Chen Shang clenched his fist tightly and said coldly, "Who has occupied that dragon vein?" "The 10 great holy nations built a big holy city there. That place is controlled by the 10 great holy nations, and it was the 10 great holy nations who took that place." When little Lizzie saw that Chen Shang could immediately suppress his anger, he couldn't help but be shocked. This was because Chen Shang was very calm, but that formless rage was extremely frightening. Without even needing little Lizzie to say it, Chen Shang could already guess what kind of rubbish the 10 great holy nations were. "Little Lizzie, have you heard any news of Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu during this period?" Chen Shang asked again. After so long, he felt that Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu should already be able to exit from closed-door cultivation. Yes, they were originally at the Divine Feather Holy Nations, but in the end they still joined our Hundreds of Flowers Palace, and were elders of our Hundreds of Flowers Palace. They went to the Life Forest several times, and wanted to look for you, but were stopped by the mistress. Chen Shang asked. "Did they go to that place with Big Sis Kilian?" "What exactly is that place?" Quote, "I only know that place is the Chaos Realm. Asgard Mistress has allowed me to guard this place, and then take away Hundreds of Flowers Palace's main force, and the same goes for all the other great holy nations." Little Lizzie sighed. "They have been gone for 3 years and there has not been any news at all. Have you ever sent anyone to practice them? Then where is the Chaos Realm?" Chen Shang was suddenly very interested in the Chaos Realm. He felt that it had something to do with the Chaos Fire token. "It is inside the chaotic mountain of the original Sacred Dan realm." Little Lizzie said. "That door is still open, but the people who went in did not come out. Asgard Master had instructed me before to not send anyone in to look for them." "So you're saying, my master went in as well? All the experts who are familiar with you have gone in?" Little Lizzie nodded. "Right, where is May Emperor? This fellow should have already appeared." Quote, Chen Shang was currently very gloomy. He had the nagging feeling that he lived a few thousand years less. What he did not know was that when the Azure Dragon used the time laws to send him away, a small problem occurred in the time and space tunnel, which resulted in him coming to the DTN Palace for a very long time. It appeared, and caused many big incidents. Furthermore, she was the one who discovered the Chaos Realm, and it is said that there are traces of the 9 Heavens gods inside, or maybe there was a 9 Heaven Devil Palace inside. Everyone knows about the mysterious deaths of the 9 Heavens gods. As long as we can find them, we will be able to obtain their inheritance. That's why many experts went to the Chaos Realm. Little Lizzie looked at Chen Shang and pulled his sleeves. "Are you going to go in as well?" But before we go in, I want to take back the Dragon Fountain." Chen Shang snorted. "These bastards, taking advantage of my absence, they actually took our Dragon Fountain." Just as Chen Shang finished speaking, a powerful aura came from outside, and penetrated through the restrictions in the secret room, penetrating inside. "They're back!" Little Lizzie shouted in shock. "Let's go out and take a look." Chen Shang suddenly wanted to curse in his heart. He was just thinking that the 10 great holy nations was not here, so he could take care of it. But now that LV Kilian and the others had returned, it meant that the experts of the 10 great holy nations were also back, which meant that it would be difficult to take care of them. After knowing that over 5,000 years had passed here, Lu Meng'er, Shui Shenxian and the rest of the girls also hurriedly came out of the ring, which made her feel a little uncomfortable. They had not gone to the divine prison for long, but it had been 5,000 years since they had come here, which made them fall behind a lot. "Isn't this too much of a coincidence? They came back the moment I came out." Chen Shang suddenly felt that this was definitely not a coincidence. The Hell Devil Emperor definitely knew that he had returned to DTN. LV Kilian really returned with LV Qinlian and Ji Meixian by her side. Once they entered the hall, LV Kilian and the other 2 girls saw Chen Shang and the others, but they were not surprised at all. They had obviously heard that Chen Shang had returned. "This, long time no see, it's not been too long." Chen Shang sighed. "Being able to see all of you again is really good, luckily I didn't fall behind by too much." Shui Shenxian muttered. "They probably already have divine deity, but we are way behind them." "Chen Shang, you took them away for more than 5,000 years. What did you do?" LV Kilian looked carefully at the strength of Lu Meng'er, Shui Shenxian, Leng Yulin, Dongfang Xinyue and the others, and he immediately got angry. "Kilian, this is not his fault. We've only been there 1 or 2 years. We don't understand why it has only been 5,000 years since we left that place." Lu Meng'er quickly explained. Chen Shang sat on a chair and looked carefully at LV Kilian, LV Qinlian and Ji Meixian. LV Qilian's strength was very strong, but Chen Shang was unable to see through her, since LV Qilian already possessed divine deity, and he had even cultivated an emperor soul. Ji Meixian originally had the bloodline of the undying bird, and his strength was very strong as well. What about them? Chen Shang asked. Who are you talking about? LV Qilian snorted. This, Sister Yu and Sister Mei Yao. Chen Shang asked. Chapter 1750. He went back to the Divine Feather Holy Nations with Feng Yuji. When LV Qilian saw that Chen Shang still had more to ask, he said, Ziqian is also with them, they are both currently at the Divine Feather Holy Nations. Said that he would go and tidy up his clothes, and he will be there shortly. Zilan and the other 3 sisters went to take care of their business here, while the other 2 went to the Holy Spirit Rabbit's captivity room. Shang Yu and Qianchen are still in Chaos Realm. Quote. Chen Shang forced out a few dry laughs. He did not expect LV Qilian to tell him the whereabouts of these girls in one go. Shui Shenxian, who was at the side, lightly pinched his waist and had a trace of jealousy on his face. Although she had long known that Chen Shang had some ambiguous relationship with many girls, she couldn't do anything about it. We will be refining in the hundreds of flowers palace during this time. Qilian, I might need your help at that time. Lu Munger said, since you all know that Chen Shang has returned, it means that Chen Shang has not gotten rid of Hell Devil Emperor's tracing mantra yet. Shui Shenxian and Dongfang Xinyue both returned to the ring to clean up. After you entered the life forest, did you actually experience it? What kind of world is it inside? LV Qinlian looked at Chen Shang with a charming smile, but her eyes were filled with longing. Let them talk. In short, I've only been inside for a year or 2, and I don't know how I lost those 5,000 years. Even if the time inside was disordered, it wouldn't be so disorderly as that. Chen Shang was already suspecting that there was a problem with the Green Dragon's time code power. Bro, sis. When Mu Chenxiang came in, and saw Chen Shang and the others, she immediately shouted and threw herself into Leng Yulin's embrace. The 2 of them were very aggressive, and had often fought together, with deep feelings for each other. Xiao Shang, you're so much stronger than me. Leng Yulin said with a bitter face. I lost 5,000 years, but I will definitely catch up. Then, Shui Shenxian pulled Mu Chenxiang and told them what had happened in Divine Prison. What exactly is inside the Chaos Realm? Why did you guys enter all of a sudden? Chen Shang asked. The 9 Heaven World and the Endless Heaven Realm's core world. However, it is relatively dangerous inside, so it is not suitable for us to migrate. It is only suitable for us to search for treasures of the heavens and earth, as well as the remains of deities. Shang Yu and Qianchen are inside searching for the holy level's medicinal ingredients. Quote. LV Qilian came over to Chen Zhang's side and continued, because you suddenly came back, the holy nations as emperors all anxiously brought their people back, afraid that you would enter while you were still in the air. Speaking of the dragon subduing school being taken care of, the anger in Chen Zhang's heart immediately flared up. After the dragon subduing school was destroyed, where did they go? I'm going to look for them. Chen Shang asked. You've only been there a year or 2, and 5,000 years have passed. Are you sure you have the strength to fight back? LV Qilian said. At first, we were already prepared for a tough battle, but in the end your master chose to give up on the dragon subduing school. He was also very clear about the strength of the 10 great holy nations, and after so much time had passed, your master grew up in secret, so even though his strength has increased, he still feels that this is not the time for a big battle. Especially you. You are lagging behind a lot. Although LV Qilian could not see through Chen Zhang's current strength, according to common sense, Chen Shang was more than 5,000 years behind. No matter how strong he was, he would definitely be unable to compare to the 10 great holy nations who had the Hell Devil Emperor's secret support. Also, right now, the strongest is the Fire Divine Nations. The Fire Divine Nations is alone and not within the 10 great holy nations, but the one with the most dragon vein is this Fire Divine Nations. Because the Fire Divine Nations is secretly supported by the Fire Divine Palace above, and is even more powerful in every aspect. Quote. What? Chen Shang gritted his teeth. Could it be that the half-dead Fire Emperor from back then became very strong? That's right, Qi Shi was injured by him. I was almost killed. That Fire Emperor is really strong now, I'm afraid even I am not his match. If you want to start a war now, my hundreds of flowers palace will definitely support you, but you better think carefully, at the very least, you need to understand what happened during the past 5,000 years. Quote. LV Qilian let out a light sigh. She could clearly feel Chen Zhang's current anger. Her own dragon subduing school would definitely be very angry if it was taken away and her dragon veins snatched away. If we are to start a war, I will not allow you all to participate. My dragon subduing school can take care of it. Chen Zhang's voice was calm. Looking at Long Shui, he smiled lightly. Very high elder of dragon subduing school, let's go. Bro, I want to go too. Leng Yulin knew that she was very weak now, but she really wanted to help. I'm going too. I've obtained the Sword Emperor's inheritance, and now I already possess the divine deity. Mu Chenxiang said with a confident smile. Yulan, you stay here. Kilian should have a way to help you all quickly increase your strength. Munger, put aside the matter of refining the divine vessel, make good use of the Holy Spirit rabbit blood. Also, I will send you the holy elixir at regular intervals. Hearing Chen Zhang's calm tone, Leng Yulin and Mu Chenxiang did not say any more, because Chen Shang gave them a very strange feeling, causing them to not dare to disobey. Qi Shi said that you would definitely be able to find the bottom of their Yuming deep abyss. LV Kilian said, do not force yourself. If you need help, 100 Blossom Holy Nations, Ice Dragon Holy Nations, Demon Suppressing Holy Nations, Divine Feather Holy Nations and Floating Life Holy Nations will all be able to help you. Floating Holy Nations. Chen Shang never thought that the Emperor Lu Fusheng of the Floating Holy Nations would actually have such a good relationship with the Dragon Subduing School. Yes, during the great battle back then, Lu Fusheng participated in it as well. If your master did not ask for it to stop, I think that even though the outcome was somewhat tragic, the Dragon Subduing School and the Dragon Vein could still be preserved. LV Kilian said. My master might be crazy, but he did a good job on this. If there had been too many casualties at that time, it would not have been a good thing. The Hell Devil Emperor would have used the large number of dead spirits to recover from his injuries. Chen Shang said, I'll go find my master and the others first, and after I'm done chatting with them, I'll come back to discuss an important matter with you because I urgently need a batch of holy level medicinal herbs. What Chen Shang said was precisely to cultivate the alive slain method with her, and condense those spirit pearls with her. At that time, she would have to kiss him endlessly, but she had some expectations in her heart, even though she looked like a high and mighty emperor on the surface, but seeing that Chen Shang had returned, she was extremely excited. After Chen Shang left the 100 Blossom Holy Nations, he immediately opened a spatial door, and went to the bottom of the Yuming Deep Abyss. When he thought of how Dragon Subduing School was forced to hide in this deep abyss, the anger in Chen Zhang's heart burned once again. Chapter 1751. There was a very large space under the Yuming Deep Abyss. When Chen Shang arrived at the bottom of the Yuming Deep Abyss, he immediately walked towards the huge cave. Entering the cave, Chen Shang saw more than 10 small houses. When Chen Shang arrived, he purposely activated a defensive array and woke up the people inside the small hut. Qi Shi, Zhang Sheng and Huang Jintian immediately ran out. Little brat, you're really back. I thought I'd never see you again. Seeing Chen Shang, Huang Jintian laughed out loud. Qi Shi and Zhang Sheng also laughed as they hurriedly brought Chen Shang to a relatively small hall. Is that all you guys here? What about the others? Chen Shang asked. The Dragon Subduing School has already dispersed. If the others continue to follow us, they would definitely be affected greatly, so I told them to leave and join another force. Rest assured, their background is not bad, and those who go are all recommended by me. They are mainly concentrated in the Floating Holy Nations and Demon Suppressing Holy Nations. Quote. Huang Jintian sighed. Little brat, I'm really sorry I couldn't protect your Dragon Subduing School. And I will also dissolve the Dragon Subduing School. Quote. Long Shui came out of the ring, smiled coquettishly, and said, where did you disband? I am the very high elder of the Dragon Subduing School, and Dragon Subduing School is also here. Quote. Long Shui sat beside Chen Shang, looked at him and laughed. I heard that you were almost killed by the Fire Emperor, is that true? Qi Shi curled his lips and said, can you not mention this matter? The main thing is that I was too careless. Quote. Chen Shang asked, Master, where did Xiao Dao and the rest go? Xiao Dao and the rest respectively went to the Floating Life and Demon Suppressing Holy Nations. Duan Sanchang followed them for a stroll. Li Baojun and his master, Li Tianjin, left, while Yan Yanren and Lan Lan traveled everywhere. In short, they are doing very well, so you don't have to worry too much about them. Huang Jintian patted Chen Zhang's shoulder. If you have time, go and chat with them. Chen Shang nodded his head, then asked, Didn't you guys go to the Chaos Realm as well? After knowing that you have returned, I will immediately return here to wait for you. Mainly to see how powerful the two of you have become in the past 5,000 years. Zhang Sheng looked at Long Shui, and laughed. This little gluttonous dragon doesn't seem to be that strong. Long Shui scoffed, we only stayed in that damned place for a year or two, and that place has only been here for 5,000 years. If you really give me 5,000 years, I can go with little scoundrel and take care of that bullshit divine nations. Is this true? Where are you going? The time difference is actually so huge. Huang Jintian was in disbelief. Of course it's true. We even met the old cyan bug. That place is called Divine Prison, mainly In one breath, Long Shui narrated the many things they did in the Divine Prison, causing them to exclaim in shock. I never thought that the green dragon would become so powerful. Sigh, but I still can't save old Bing. Zhang Sheng sighed. The Azure Dragon has also been sent into Divine Prison, old Bing will have a hard time taking it. Huang Jintian said, it must be because something went wrong when the Green Dragon was opening the time-space tunnel, so while you guys were inside the time-space tunnel, 5,000 years passed. Qi Shi laughed, you guys are equivalent to instantly reaching 5,000 years from now, this is not bad. Not bad, your head. Long Shui felt that his current strength was so much weaker than Qi Shi's and Zhang Sheng's, and felt extremely uncomfortable in his heart. Where are the seniors White Tiger and Vermilion Bird? Chen Shang asked. Aren't they here? They went to the God's realm, they just left not long ago. Back then, he had participated in too many of Nine Heaven World's business, and in the end, after Dragon Subduing School was disbanded, Nine Heaven World became very calm, and they also left. Quote. Qi Shi said, we had originally wanted to leave as well, but it's just that Long Shui interrupted. It's just that you all do not have the ability, otherwise you would have left long ago. You can't say that. If we had any intention of leaving, we would definitely be able to leave now. Now, we can just barely make it to God's realm. Qi Shi laughed. Don't underestimate us. Long Shui said with a look of despise, you guys are really awesome, you won't let Dragon Subduing School disband. This was all Old Yellow's idea. We had originally planned to fight to the bitter end. Zhang Sheng immediately looked at Huang Jintian. Huang Jintian let out a long sigh, you are all people that have experienced the battle at the Nine Heaven World back then. This kind of great battle should be handed over to a new generation of youths, not to old bones like us. What's more, if a great battle had broken out at that time, who would be the happiest? Of course it is the Hell Devil Emperor, he can harvest a large number of good dead souls, and make him stronger. Quote. Qi Shi laughed. So, if we do not have Chen Shang to participate in this big battle, using the heavenly alchemy to take away those dead spirits, it will definitely benefit the Hell Devil Emperor. Alright, the strongest Dragon Emperor from back then had already been destroyed by us. If Dragon Subduing School is disbanded, then disband. But, that dragon vein cannot be given to them just like that. Chen Zhang's voice was filled with killing intent. At the beginning, I was the one who obtained it first, it was something that belonged to me. Fine, we waited for you to come back so that we could fight with you. Qi Shi strongly patted Chen Zhang's shoulder. When do I make a move? Huang Jintian said. If it were just us attacking, then there wouldn't be too many deaths. To be honest, I can't bear to see the imps that I have personally nurtured die in Dragon Subduing School. Zhang Sheng said. Oh right, there's one more thing. It was 5,000 years ago, when the Ice Emperor of the Heavenly Sacred Region used a profound poison to attack Wu Qianchen. She nearly died from poison. Is he the Ice Emperor of the Ice Country? Chen Shang clenched his fists tightly and asked angrily. It's this guy. Because he has pretty good strength, the profound poison is not a super old poison now. Zhang Sheng said. Chen Shang said. Let's go, we'll head to the Holy Ice Nation first. Qi Shi anxiously pulled Chen Shang along. What's the rush? It's not easy for them to find them and wait for that guy to be alone in Holy Ice Country before we go over to get him. All you need to do now is to wait for news from us. Quote. Chen Shang took a deep breath and nodded. Then, he took out a storage bag and tossed it to Zhang Sheng. Did you get it from the Divine Prison? I really want to go and take a look. Of course, Zhang Sheng knew what the top stone was and immediately became extremely excited. Qi Shi, Old Yellow, the two of you go and inquire about the whereabouts of the Ice Emperor. I will refine a divine weapon here and you will have your share as well. Zhang Sheng laughed. I haven't gotten rid of Hell Devil Emperor's tracing mantra yet, so I'll be leaving first. When Ice Emperor returns to Holy Ice Nation, inform me. Chen Shang opened a spatial tunnel and arrived outside the 100 Flowers Holy Nations. Then, he used the transmission array here to teleport to the Divine Feather Holy Nations. Chapter 1752, Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu were both at the Divine Feather Holy Nations. They had separated for a long time and missed Chen Shang very much. They had originally planned to go to the Hundreds of Flowers Palace immediately after leaving, but Feng Yuji told them to return to the Divine Feather School first. This way, they would be safer. It was because 5,000 years after Chen Shang had disappeared, he had returned once again. Furthermore, the Hell Devil Emperor had also received news that the bounty order was still valid. However, they also knew that it would be hard to kill Chen Shang after 5,000 years, so they did not immediately seek him out. There were many strong warriors who were killed by Chen Shang back then, including the strong of Lord Stage. If Chen Shang could kill them 5,000 years ago, there was no need to even mention 5,000 years later. Chen Shang came to the Divine Feather Holy Nations and rushed straight to the Imperial Palace. Thinking that he had to face such a mysterious and powerful woman like Feng Yuji again, Chen Shang suddenly felt a huge pressure in his heart. Especially since Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu had always been following her, he was worried that they would be affected by Feng Yuji. Other than Bai Yuyu and his wife, Hong Sha and Ji Ling were also present. Originally, Chen Shang had wanted to make Hong Sha and Ji Ling learn alchemy from him, but who knew that they would become his disciples later on. Chen Shang felt that they would most likely follow him in the future. When Chen Shang came here, he directly reported his name, but he did not change his appearance, because he felt that Feng Yuji was very strong, and was not afraid of trouble. Very quickly, Chen Shang was invited into the dazzling palace. He arrived at a garden and found Feng Yuji sitting on a stone chair in the pavilion, pouring some tea. Chen Shang walked over quickly, sat on his butt, and directly sat in front of Feng Yuji. Then, he fearlessly looked at Feng Yuji's ordinary appearance. "Where's Sister Meiyao and elder sister Yu? Chen Shang looked around, but did not see the two girls, and asked anxiously. 5,000 years. Do you not miss me? Feng Yuji laughed and gave Chen Shang a cup of fragrant tea. I am their godmother, if you want to see my daughter, of course I have to check. Chen Shang drank the cup of tea in one gulp, curled his lips, and said, you are their godmother, how can I miss you? I say, Aunt Feng, let them come out and see me. Quote. That won't do. I want to see how much you've improved in the past 5,000 years. Feng Yuji played with the ends of her hair, a pair of lively eyes flickering with a mischievous gaze. Chen Shang was very gloomy. Every time he met someone he knew, he would have to explain that it had only been a year or two, and he himself did not know where the 5,000 years had gone to. I only spent a year or two in that place. I've already explained it to a lot of people. Chen Shang explained everything that had happened to him in the divine prison with the fastest speed of speech. Thus, you don't have to test me anymore. Quickly, let me see them. Otherwise, I'll look for them myself. The beauty that he had not seen for many years was here, and she was one of the two women that were most important to him. Chen Shang was extremely anxious at this moment. Feng Yuji, on the other hand, was not in a hurry at all. He continued to whet Chen Zhang's appetite and laughed. Meiyao is already one of your people, what are you in a hurry for? Once you've arrived, you don't need to ask me about my matters. You always need to find them urgently, so I'll be very sad and very disappointed. Quote. This, Aunt Feng, you are their godmother, I can't get too close to you. This is not good, Chen Shang said in a low voice. Stop messing around, all right. The first time Chen Shang had met this Feng Yuji, she was this mischievous. Why, I am just their godmother, and I am not related by blood. So what if we're closer? Besides, you have so many women by your side, and none of them are jealous. Feng Yuji continued to incite Chen Shang, causing him to wish that he could strip her of her clothes and punish her severely, letting her know how anxious he was right now. Do you think I'm too old? Feng Yuji saw that Chen Shang did not speak and continued to laugh. Of course she did not know that she had been stripped naked in Chen Zhang's mind. That's right, you're too old, and I'm not interested in you. Of course, since you're interested in me, I will take care of it and satisfy the emptiness in your heart. Chen Shang slowly said. He could already tell that Feng Yuji was doing this on purpose. The more Feng Yuji wanted to play tricks on him, the more he couldn't let him succeed. Aunt Feng, you have never slept with a man before. Chen Shang calmed down and started retaliating. That's right, Feng Yuji smiled slightly and said. What, you're beginning to be interested in me? Of course not, I have so many women by my side, no matter what, I will not be interested in you. Chen Shang laughed. When Feng Yuji saw that Chen Shang had started to talk nonsense with her, he originally wanted to tease her a little. Mei Yao and you are both very powerful now. With my help, they have already condensed their divine deity and cultivated Emperor Souls. The bones in their bodies are also crystal bones. I treat them like my own daughters, and they plan to follow you in the future. I've painstakingly nurtured these two beautiful daughters of mine, and I feel very sad to follow you like this. Feng Yuji purposely pouted, his face filled with resentment. Why don't you follow me as well? In that case, you can stay with them. My dark dragon ring is very large, so even if there are 10 more of you, you won't be a problem. Chen Shang chuckled, but in his heart, he was actually very grateful to Feng Yuji. Not only did he help Su Meiyao and her to treat the injuries she had suffered for so many years, he had also helped to make them so powerful. Humph, I'm talking business with you right now. Feng Yuji scoffed, you're not allowed to talk nonsense. I was talking business with you too. Seeing you alone, I was suddenly interested in you. Chen Shang purposely revealed a sinister smile. Feng Yuji clenched her jade teeth, and silently cursed Chen Shang. She was really discussing serious matters with Chen Shang right now, but who knew that Chen Shang would actually take the initiative and tease her? Aren't you afraid that I'll beat you up? How powerful I have become in the past 5,000 years, you can't imagine. Yet you have lost 5,000 years of your lifespan. If I want to take you down, it will be as easy as flipping my hand. Feng Yuji suddenly became serious. That's right, but you are still a loser under my hand. Back then when we competed to refine pills, you did indeed lose to me. Chen Shang laughed. How about we compete again, and play something bigger this time? Great, although I, Feng Yuji, do not focus on refining pills, I can still beat you brat. Last time, it was only because I was too careless and did not understand you, and because I was a pill saint, I deliberately did not use my highest level, so do not think that I really lost to you. Quote. Feng Yuji was also a very strong woman, and when she heard Chen Shang mention the matter of her last crushing defeat, it was even more true. Back then, you could only concoct immortal pills, and you even lost 5,000 years there. I was already a pill saint, and during the past 5,000 years, even if I didn't really progress in the Tao of alchemy, my progress was enormous. Even though Feng Yuji had said that, in the past 5,000 years, she had worked hard on refining pills. It was only because she lost to Chen Shang that she had to win it back. So you have a lot of confidence? Chen Shang said while beaming. Since that's the case, let's play a little. If you are familiar with my affairs, you should know that I have 2 female slaves by my side. Quote. I know, one of them is called Hua Shangyu. She had come here before and learned some alchemy from me. And there's also Wu Qianqin, she's also a good sapling, she seems to have been harmed by you, you little bastard. Feng Yuji said, why are you bringing up your female slaves? Since we're competing, then we have to be heroic and heroic. There's no need to gamble our lives, we don't even like gambling on holy stones, so it's more fun for me to gamble on them. If you lose, then you are mine. If I lose, I'll be yours. Chen Shang laughed. Do you dare to come? This is not fair. What do I want you to do? However, your words are extremely useful. It's not that I don't dare, it's just that the conditions are not equal. Feng Yuji snorted. She didn't think that this little bastard Chen Shang would actually want to take her as a female slave. She felt that she had still underestimated Chen Zhang's guts. Chen Shang said, then forget it, it's not fun at all. Anyway, you've already lost to me. Alright, quickly let me see Sister Meiyao and Sister Yu. Quote. No, I have to compete again. Feng Yuji said resolutely, we can discuss the aspect of the wager. Chen Shang said very casually, my request is not big, I only want you to if that doesn't work, you can stay in the same secret room as me and then, within 2 hours, no matter what I do to you, you can't resist at all. Quote. As he finished speaking, Chen Shang smiled evilly. Little scoundrel, Feng Yuji gritted his teeth and snorted, I am Meiyao and the Quiet Mother, aren't you afraid that they will find out? Chen Shang laughed. Didn't you say it earlier? You aren't related to them by blood, so it's fine even if you get closer. Quote. Forget it, I have plenty of time anyway. It's impossible for Sister Meiyao and Sister Yu to be stared at to death by you for your entire life, I will have a chance to meet them one day. After I return, I have a lot of things to do, so I'll be leaving first. Quote. After Chen Shang stood up, he anxiously shouted out, "What are you anxious about? It's not like I said no." Quote. Alright, let's talk about the wager now. I can agree to your dirty conditions. Chen Shang interrupted her and laughed. What condition do you have to agree to my request? That's right, after you win, I'll give you 2 hours of time. It doesn't matter what you do to me, eh? Feng Yuji lightly bit her lips, stared at Chen Shang, and said. This isn't a joke, is it? Chen Shang was a little surprised. I'm serious. However, this matter cannot be known to Mei Yao and Yu, because once they find out, they will definitely stop your vulgar actions. Feng Yuji said with a serious face. It looked like he was not joking. But, if you lose to me, then you will have to be my servant for 100,000 years. Quote. Chapter 1753. After losing, she would become a slave for 100,000 years. Chen Shang carefully thought about it. Feng Yuji was not joking around right now. Of course, Chen Shang was also very confident in himself. It was just that Feng Yuji had already agreed to his shameful conditions. It could be seen that Feng Yuji definitely had some tricks up her sleeve. What is it? I've already agreed to it, why are you dawdling? It can't be that you're scared. Feng Yuji laughed in disdain, and stuck out her tongue proudly. Well, it's a bit unfair that you put forward such conditions. Although Chen Shang was confident in himself, he had to prepare for the worst. What if he lost? What do you think? If I lose, then I will be your servant for 10,000 years. That should be fine, right? I am, after all, someone who has been offered 4 divine deities by the Hell Devil Emperor, and you don't know this yet, but in order to capture me in the divine prison, I suffered an even greater loss. What Chen Shang said was true. The 2 war gods sent by the Hell Devil Emperor had already spent around this amount. Against Chen Zhang's expectations, Feng Yuji actually agreed very straightforwardly. Alright, in order to prevent you from being shameless, we need to get a contract or something like that. It can't be better. Chen Shang chuckled. If you lose, I can do whatever I want with you, you promised me. Also, I can't let Sister Mei Yao and Sister Yu know about this, otherwise, I won't do it. Quote. When Feng Yuji saw that Chen Shang had hardened his heart to do such dirty things to her, he cursed in his heart and spat lightly. You don't have to be too proud, you'll soon be my servant. Of course I have to be proud, because I will soon cough, cough. Chen Shang said with an evil smile. After signing the contract, both Chen Shang and Feng Yuji sinisterly laughed a few times, because they believed that the other party would definitely lose. I really want to know, little devil, don't talk about losing 5,000 years, you aren't too strong yourself. Even if you have a heavenly alchemy and a pretty good perception, you are too arrogant. I am a pill saint for hundreds of thousands of years, and I can refine high-quality pills now. Feng Yuji looked down on Chen Shang. At this moment, she was truly looking down on him. You should know that I can refine Shengpin Holy Dan now. Even if you are able to concoct a low-grade saint pill, you and I are on 2 completely different levels. Feng Yuji was filled with confidence, as if she had already won. We already said before when we signed the contract that we would choose a pill that both parties could forge during the competition. Therefore, even if you could refine a divine pill, it wouldn't be your advantage. You know how to concoct mid-grade saint pills, but I can't even concoct a tier 7 or 8 immortal pill, so I might as well defeat you. Chen Shang laughed faintly and struck back. Tell me while touching your chest. Did you really lose to me at that time? Feng Yuji admitted in her heart that even if she had used all her strength, she would have still lost to Chen Shang. But now, she was different. Although she was very confident in her heart, she would not underestimate Chen Shang. For Chen Shang to dare to bet with her, it showed that he had his own trump card. Alright, in order to make you convinced of your defeat, you can decide on the pill you want to refine. 2 out of 3, Feng Yuji said. A round to determine the victor, and luck is also a factor. In order to display your strength, I have to compete a few more times. Chen Shang nodded. I agree with you. Let's refine a Tianshan Dan of the 9th level of the Immortal Realm first. Quote. No problem, I will pay for the ingredients. I have one here. Was still rather surprised in his heart. Tianshan Dan were extremely difficult to refine, but Chen Shang had actually chosen this from the beginning, and refining Tianshan Dan would have been very difficult, to the point where he would have to split the burden between them. Other alchemists wouldn't normally choose this, and Chen Shang had only stayed in the divine prison for a few years, yet he was able to refine this Tianshan Dan. However, Feng Yuji was very confident in herself refining the Tianshan Dan, because she had often refined Tianshan Dan before to raise her level. When he refined the Tianshan Dan, he could produce 12 pellets at the highest. He felt that no matter how strong this Feng Yuji was, it would at most be a few pellets, which would definitely not be able to surpass him. Seeing the confident and beautiful smile on Feng Yuji's face, Chen Shang laughed to himself. Don't be too happy yet, I will use the most ruthless method to defeat you later. Feng Yuji said. Don't tell me we do not need a judge. After all, during the process of refining pills, there will inevitably be some special circumstances which will need to be evaluated by the judge. Quote. Which referee should I choose? Chen Shang asked. I don't have a good candidate. Lu Fusheng, Bai Guangyao, LV Zhen, Grandma LV Kilian, you don't have any objections, do you? I can call them now. Feng Yuji said. These people were all acquaintances of Chen Shang, so he naturally did not have any objections. Although their relationship was not bad with him, but at that time, these 5 people would definitely be very fair. Alright, then you can wait. I'll give you another hour to prepare so that you won't have to come up with all sorts of excuses when you lose. Feng Yuji placed great importance on this competition. She stood up and left the garden, looking for the judge she was talking about. Not long after she left, Chen Shang saw 2 beautiful figures appear in the distance. Upon closer inspection, it was actually Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu. And behind them, there were also 3 equally beautiful women, namely Bai Ziqian, Hong Sha and Ji Ling'er. Seeing Chen Shang, these girls were also very excited, especially Su Meiyao, who had confirmed their relationship with him, who flew over from afar and landed in his arms. Little scoundrel, I missed you so much. Su Meiyao hugged Su Meiyao tightly and looked at him with alluring eyes. She extended her jade hands to caress Chen Zhang's handsome and determined face. I miss you too. Chen Shang kissed Su Meiyao's face, then giggled while looking at the other women. I miss you guys too. Sister Yuyu, Sister Ziqian. You all wear the same clothes, and standing together is so beautiful. Quote. Bai Yuyu and Bai Ziqian were both dressed in the same light white cheongsam. The 2 girls both had ice-cold yet incomparably beautiful faces and the same cold and proud temperament. However, they both gave Chen Shang a beautiful short-lived smile. It's been 5,000 years and you, little scoundrel, still haven't changed. Your eyes are still so dishonest. Bai Yuyu chuckled. Where's Shui Yi? I'm here. I don't want to go out right now. The reason why she didn't want to go out was because she was worried about Bai Yaowei, LV Zhen and the other rankers. This was because she currently had too many people behind her. This was the imperial palace of the Divine Feather Holy Nations, so Chen Shang didn't dare to stay here too casually. Chen Shang and the few girls sat in the pavilion, narrating what happened to him once more. Hearing Chen Zhang's words, the girls were all very surprised. When they heard Chen Shang say that he would compete with Feng Yuji in pill refining, these few women were even more surprised. You should be mentally prepared to lose if you compete with your mother in pill refinement. Su Meiyao said. All these years, I have been learning alchemy with her. I am now a pill saint, I can concoct low-grade saint pills. Of course, the refining technique that I am using is your god purification. Mother made many improvements in the god purification, so she has improved a lot. Quote. You won't blame me, will you? I passed the god purification to her. Su Meiyao was a little worried that Chen Shang would blame her. Of course I won't blame you. Since she used my god purification, then this means that she received inspiration from me. Only then will she be convinced after losing. Chen Shang laughed. He did not feel like it at all. He was happy that Feng Yuji was able to use his pill refining skills, because he could use this method to provoke Feng Yuji's prideful heart anytime in the future. It looks like you've won. Mother is now capable of refining Shengpin Holy Dan. Although her main cultivation path is not to refine pills, to have such high attainments is not something that can be easily defeated. The one who spoke was Bai Ziqian. What is it, Sister Ziqian, you also became that woman's daughter? Chen Shang looked at Red Dawn and Ji Ling'er who were at the side. I think you two are the 5 sisters now, right? Su Meiyao laughed and pinched the flesh on Chen Zhang's arm. Have you started to let your thoughts run wild? Where is it? Chen Shang anxiously pulled away from Su Meiyao's delicate hand that was filled with power. Feng Yuji was a powerful pill saint, although Su Meiyao and the others were her adopted daughters, but to them, she was like their biological daughters, giving them the best resources, training them. Chen Shang, you must be thinking about something evil. Ji Ling'er giggled and said. Over these years, Hong Sha and I have gained a new understanding of you. Humph. Bai Ziqian coldly snorted. The few of them had been together for more than 1,000 years, and Su Meiyao had already told them about those perverted matters he had several times. You guys aren't kind, you're discrediting me everywhere. Chen Shang had a wronged expression on his face. I really didn't think that way. I've always been very honest. Long Shui originally wanted to speak up for him, but when she thought about how Feng Yuji would give him whatever 2 hours he wanted her to do if he lost, she still felt that it was better to let it go. Being stared at by the few girls with such looks of contempt made Chen Shang feel weak in his heart, but he thought to himself, wait till I take care of your godmother, I'll see how you guys can continue being cocky then. Oh yeah, have you guys fought against the Mei Emperor before? Chen Shang quickly changed the topic, and it was a success. Yes, they had beaten her twice, but they had not been able to kill her each time. She had many experts protecting her, especially the Emperor of the 10 Great Holy Nations. As long as she spoke, he would never refuse her request. I heard she's still in Chaos Realm. Quote. Shang Yu and Qianchen are also in Chaos Realm. Will they be alright? Chen Shang had heard LV Kilian say before that Hua Shangyu and Wu Qianchen were searching for precious holy medicine in the Chaos Realm. Don't be too worried, Shangyu and Qianchen have obtained the inheritance of the Dan Emperor, it's definitely not ordinary. Su Meiyao said. They are also often with us, discussing the art of refining pills. Chapter 1754. Chen Shang remembered that someone once said that after Wu Qianchen and Su Meiyao found out about the whereabouts of the Dan Emperor, they went to look for the Dan Emperor. Long Shui felt even more uncomfortable now, because Wu Qianchen and Hua Shangyu had also made great progress. This made her even more determined that she would eat and sleep more in the future, and become stronger. When Qianchen was poisoned by the Ice Emperor, I will definitely avenge her. When Chen Shang brought up this matter, he was still very angry in his heart. Ice Emperor of the Holy Ice Nation are not easy to deal with. Their 10 Great Holy Nations was one entity, and there were even many strong warriors who had infiltrated the Hell Devil Emperor in the dark. Aside from that, there is also another huge threat, and that is the mighty Night Devil S in the Night Devil Hell. They are also now quite a strong force. Su Meiyao said. Chen Shang almost forgot about Night Devil Hell. Then how is Devil Killing Summit now? Have you found your young master? Chen Shang asked. The Devil Killing Summit has already been destroyed. The gods inside the Devil Killing Summit originally could not withstand the pressure from the gods' realm and all retreated. As a result, the Devil Killing Summit was annihilated after a few waves of attacks. Su Meiyao sighed helplessly. Looks like this 9-heaven world is a place that God's realm left alone in. Moreover, this God's realm hopes that this place will be a mess all day, which is why this Hell Devil Emperor is here doing whatever he wants. So many years had passed, and the things that happened in the God's realm were no longer secrets. As long as one was an expert of the 9-heaven world, he or she would more or less know a little. What about you? Dragon Subduing School has been dissolved, and the dragon veins have been occupied. Bai Yu asked. Of course not. Sooner or later, I will take back what belongs to me. Chen Shang said firmly. We'll go together then. Su Meiyao sat by Chen Zhang's side, hugging Chen Zhang's arm, like a docile little kitten sticking to Chen Shang, especially when he felt her soft chest rubbing against him. It made Chen Shang feel that he couldn't take it anymore. We're going too. Bai Ziqian looked at Red Cloud and Jilinger. I have long hated the 10 Great Holy Nations. Bai Yu said. In her eyes, Chen Zhang's matter was her own. Chen Shang shook his head. None of you are to go, and obediently stay here to help me increase my strength, although I lost 5,000 years of time. But I feel that it won't be long before I enter the God's realm, so when the time comes, you all can enter the ring with me, but what I hope for is that with your true strength, you all will be able to pass through the road to the God's realm. Quote. The Azure Dragon and Chen Shang had said before, that the road to enter the God's realm was very important. If one did not enter the God's realm through that method, it would be a huge loss. Mother also told us that whether we can get along well after entering the God's realm depends on what we can get from that road. Jilinger said. I thought you were a lot behind us. I didn't expect you to say that you want to go to God's realm so early in the morning. Feng Yuji's understanding of the God's realm made Chen Shang even more suspicious. He suddenly felt that Feng Yuji was someone from the God's realm. Before an hour had passed, Feng Yuji had returned with a few people chatting happily behind her. Other than LV Zhen, Bai Yaowei, Grandma LV, and LV Kilian, there were also 2 other unfamiliar faces. Chen Shang remembered that the aura of that handsome big man was from the floating city lord, Lu Fusheng. Back then, when Chen Shang was surrounded by Thunder Emperor and other experts, it was Lu Fusheng who helped him break that barrier and gave him the chance to escape. Floating City Lord, I did not have the time to thank you for saving me all those years ago, but now I am here to make up for it. Chen Shang immediately cupped his hands and laughed, and said some words of thanks. He is the great floating emperor. Feng Yuji chuckled, and then introduced another person Chen Shang did not know. It was a graceful and elegant beautiful woman wearing a purple dress. She was very compatible with Lu Fusheng. Chen Shang could already tell that this beautiful woman should be Lu Fusheng's partner. This is Great Emperor Ruo Meng, the master of holy nations Ruo Meng, and also the floating wife. Feng Yuji introduced the beautiful woman, which surprised Chen Shang greatly. This great Emperor Ruo Meng was very powerful. It gave others a feeling that they couldn't see through her. Bai Yaowei was the ruthless devil Venerable back then. He was Bai Yuyu and Bai Ziqian's father, Su Meiyao's master. He also knew a bit about Chen Shang and his daughter, and now he said with a smile, I also spent some time with a pill master. Although I cannot refine pills, I can still be used as a evaluation. Chen Shang, we already heard about you from the Divine Feather Emperor on the way here. You lost for so many years, and he still dared to challenge her. This really surprises us. LV Jen laughed. LV Kilian did not say anything. The feeling she gave others was that they were not very close, but the truth was that her relationship with Chen Shang had already progressed to a point where even Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu did not know about it. I really hope that you can refine some powerful poison. Let's see who can poison an old woman like me to death. Although she had a head full of white hair, she was very young and did not look like an old lady at all. Grandma LV, if I poison you to death, a few people here will immediately come and fight me. Chen Shang laughed. Mom, stop messing around. LV Kilian was really worried that Chen Shang would poison Grandma LV to death. Lu Fusheng laughed. This little brother dares to challenge the Divine Feather Emperor. He should be very confident. I wonder if the two of you made any bets. No, Feng Yuji immediately said. She did not want others to know that she actually agreed to Chen Zhang's shameful conditions. Su Meiyao asked, what pills are all of you competing? 3 rounds and 2 victories. The first is the Tianshan Dan, and the second is also his. Feng Yuji looked at Chen Shang and asked, what pill do you want to compete in the second round? Let me feel reassured. Quote, Dragon Blood Saint Dan, I have the ingredients. Chen Shang chuckled. As for the third round, it shouldn't be necessary anymore. Feng Yuji also chuckled. It's indeed unnecessary, I can defeat you in 2 rounds. Although Feng Yuji had a smile on her face, her heart secretly jumped. Chen Shang was actually able to refine holy pellets. If Chen Shang had lived for 5,000 years, that would be normal, but Chen Shang had only stayed in the divine prison for a short period of time. Don't say it so early. I will make you lose to shame in the first round. My beautiful Divine Feather Emperor, ha ha eh, Chen Shang suddenly laughed out loud, causing everyone to frown. The clash between Feng Yuji and Chen Shang just now made people feel that they had a irreconcilable feud. One cauldron isn't enough to compete in, but many batches to compete in. This is up to you. I heard that he's also very good at controlling multiple pill furnaces at the same time. Feng Yuji suddenly said as he saw Chen Shang taking out the Yanlong furnace. 10 batches, how about it? Chen Shang said directly without even thinking. Right after he finished speaking, Feng Yuji gently waved his sleeve, and like smoke, 10 purple 9-legged pill furnaces appeared in front of her. Each of them was as tall as a person and extremely large. 10 batches of purple skies. This is one of the famous pill furnaces in the God's realm. It is said that all the ingredients are made from a purple sky that has collapsed. LV Jen took a deep breath. This is a top-grade divine furnace. In order to defeat Chen Shang, Feng Yuji no longer hid his strength, and wanted to reveal his true strength. Chapter 1755. Feng Yuji concocted 10 batches of pills at the same time, which was also inspired by Chen Shang previously. Su Meiyao had told her many things about Chen Zhang's concocting of pills, and Feng Yuji was really impressed by his pill refining skills. However, Feng Yuji had not released the magic method furnace like Chen Shang did. In her opinion, it was not safe, and it also consumed a lot of spirit energy. It was better to use a good pill furnace to concoct the pill, so she did not need to worry about the instability of the magic method furnace. It would allow her to control multiple pill furnaces more easily. Chen Shang had never tried to refine 10 batches of Tianshan Dan before, but he felt that it wouldn't be difficult. My Yanlong furnace is only a sacred device, and your 10 pill furnaces are divine furnaces. Even if you win against me, that is not something to be proud of. However, once you lose, Chen Shang felt that the more Feng Yuji displayed his true strength, the more he would feel a sense of accomplishment when defeating her. When we competed previously, we didn't talk about the limitations of the pill furnaces. If you need me to change to a more ordinary pill furnace, that's fine too. Feng Yuji took out 20 Tianyun fruit S and told Su Meiyao to send 10 to Chen Shang. I didn't pay too much attention to the pill furnace when I was refining pills, so of course I wouldn't restrict you. If you still lose to me in this way, then I'll be even more happy. Chen Shang checked the Tianyun fruit. He was worried that Feng Yuji would do something to them. Feng Yuji originally thought that his 10 purple deity furnace would be able to scare Chen Shang, but who would have thought that Chen Shang was actually so calm. Now we have to refine 10 batches of 9th stage Immortal Tianshan Dan at the same time, and we also have to refine 10 batches of Dragon Blood Saint Dan in the second round, right? She was a woman, so she hoped that Feng Yuji could win. In her eyes, Feng Yuji was her senior. Not bad. Everyone, wait a bit and watch carefully. Don't let that brat cheat. Feng Yuji chuckled. Even I am starting to suspect if he used up all his divine power by refining 2 batches of Dragon Blood Saint Dan at the same time. Chen Shang snorted. 9 balls of mist suddenly gushed out, translucent and hazy. They formed 9 pill furnaces that were half a man tall, arranged on both sides of the Yanlong furnace, in a straight line. Everyone present who understood Chen Shang knew that this was the pill furnace he created with his divine power. Feng Yuji placed the 10 bubbling Tianyun fruit S into her purple sky 10 furnace separately, and Chen Shang didn't fall behind her. Using his divine power, he controlled the Tianyun fruit to enter the 9 transparent magic method furnace S and the Yanlong furnace S respectively. It had to be said that Chen Zhang's refining technique was extremely eye-catching. Even Feng Yuji had been carefully staring at Chen Zhang's 9 magic method furnace. She also wanted to see with her own eyes how Chen Shang refined the Tianshan Dan. She wanted to see how it was different from her refining technique, or if she had learned something from it. Feng Yuji had already started to release flames. Her flames were extremely strong, and even though they were inside the divine furnace, Chen Shang could feel the terror of those flames from the weak heat they emitted, causing him to suspect Feng Yuji's identity even more. From Chen Zhang's point of view, Feng Yuji should have long been a ranker who entered the god's realm, but she had not left this place all these years. Chen Shang released flames. His flames did not have a trace of warmth, looking very ordinary. They surrounded the Tianyun fruit. Tai Chi Divine Arts. Chen Shang released a small Taiji array from the bottom of the Tianyun fruit from the very beginning, producing a suction force that prevented the Tianyun fruit from releasing its special powers. Seeing that he had revealed this move, Feng Yuji frowned slightly and looked more carefully, her heart also becoming heavier. Of course, she could see that the terrifying divine power inside the Tianyun fruit had already been contained and did not leak out any further after the appearance of the Taiji array. This way, Chen Shang could refine all of the divine power within the Tianyun fruit into an immortal pill. When ordinary alchemists refining Tianshan Dan, they would always let the Tianyun fruit lose 90% of its medicinal power, and in the end, could only use 10% of its difficulty to condense it into a pill, but its effects were still much stronger than eating the Tianyun fruit alive. Even if it was Feng Yuji, it would still be hard to prevent this kind of thing from happening. She had only done a better job than the other alchemist, as she could minimize the loss of medicinal power. What kind of flame is that? Could it be that it wasn't sacred fire? Logically speaking, Chen Shang should already be able to use the rainbow sacred flame. Isn't his god purification mainly focused on powerful flames? She and Jiling both possessed the kind of mystical Holy Spirit fire S, and were on the path of pill refining. Su Meiyao had passed Chen Zhang's god purification to them. They were only at the initial stage of mastery, but now Chen Shang was not using the god purification that they were familiar with. I'm not sure either. His flames are very strange. Su Meiyao frowned slightly as she looked at Chen Zhang's pill furnace seriously. What kind of flame is this? LV Gen also felt that it was very strange, because that type of flame did not have a unique flame characteristic. Lu Fusheng shook his head. He did not know. Creation flame. Just when everyone was feeling puzzled, Feng Yuji said in a low voice, it is also called a Chuangzhao fire, a fire of chaos. In short, I have only seen him once, and the Chuangzhao fire he is using right now is extremely weak. Quote, This Jilinger said in surprise, can my Holy Spirit fire replicate this kind of flame? The strength of Holy Spirit fires was that they could copy the special natures of other people's fire soul and flames. No, this is not just a simple flame. I don't know how he cultivated it either. In short, this type of flame is extremely mysterious and strange. This kind of flame was precisely released by Chen Shang using his life force. The Azure Dragon had also mentioned it before. What good eyesight, you can actually recognize this kind of flame. Are you afraid? Chen Shang laughed. So what, your flame is so weak, yet you still have not started to refine the Tianyun fruit, while I have already refined 30%. Feng Yuji smiled slightly. If you rely on this kind of flame, then you still won't be able to defeat me. In Chen Zhang's pill furnace, there was only one Taiji array under every Tianyun fruit, and the Tianyun fruit was also wrapped by his, without any changes. Don't be happy too early. Chen Shang snickered, only to see that the fiery red ball of light from the 9 magic method furnace S was suddenly enveloped by a layer of white light. Alchemist who had refined Tianshan Dan before knew that this was the pure medicinal power that leaked out of the Tianyun fruit when it was refined. The amount of white light outside the red ball of fire grew more and more, while Chen Zhang's ability to use it also grew stronger and stronger. The reason he was so slow was because it was his first time refining 10 batches of Tianshan Dan, and he needed some time to get used to it. Now that he had gotten used to it, he could begin to use his supernatural power to quickly decompose and refine the Tianyun fruit. The light grew brighter and brighter, like 9 white suns, constantly emitting blinding white rays that were constantly rotating. The white brilliance was actually the divine energy within the Tianyun fruit. After being refined, it was like falling into a whirlpool, spinning around the upper level of the pill furnace and condensing into a pill there. Looking at the endless flow of medicinal power gushing to the top of the furnace, Su Meiyao who had refined Tianshan Dan before knew very clearly that the amount of pills Chen Shang produced would be extremely terrifying. Jilinger exclaimed, this little brat is too scary. In the past, Jilinger and Red Cloud had specially helped Chen Shang by selling a large number of high-grade pellets. Now, they had finally seen with their own eyes how Chen Shang had concocted high-grade pellets in bulk. Feng Yuji's face turned a little ugly. She no longer said anything, slightly gritted her teeth, and became a little nervous. She couldn't understand why Chen Shang always had such a strange method of refining pills. However, she felt that she could still win, because she felt that the medicinal power she had refined from the Tianyun fruit would not be less than Chen Zhang's. But not long after, when Feng Yuji saw that Chen Shang was still madly squeezing out the medicine from within the Tianyun fruit, she became even more nervous. This made her feel like she was about to lose, but she quickly calmed her restless heart. Infinite refining. Destroy them all. Quote, Chen Shang was also a little nervous, but that was because he was too excited. Back then, when he was refining the Tianshan Dan, one furnace was enough to tire him to death. Now, when he was refining 10 batches at the same time, he was still full of energy. The infinite refining was a method to strengthen the foundation of Tai Chi. At this moment, the Taiji array at the bottom of the 9 magic method furnace could be seen with the naked eye constantly emitting lines and lines of runes. The 9 Tianyun fruit inside the magic method furnace instantly exploded as a huge golden light shone out, enveloping a radius of several tens of kilometers. With the 9 magic method furnace as the center, an extremely thick light pillar appeared and shot high into the sky. Feng Yuji's residence was currently enveloped in a huge, semicircular golden light barrier. LV Zhen, Lu Fusheng, Bai Yaowei and the rest were all enveloped by the golden light, unable to see anything, but they were all using their powerful divine powers to feel the changes happening inside Chen Zhang's pill furnace. The shocking golden light gradually faded, causing everyone to be surprised. And at this time, Chen Shang had formed the 9 magic method furnace S. They were condensing a white ball of air, as if they were being kneaded by snow, releasing a sparkling and translucent multicolored light. With just a glance, one could tell how many Tianshan Dan could be condensed. Seeing this scene, Feng Yuji almost could not continue, but she still held on to a glimmer of hope that Chen Shang would fail at the last moment. Chen Shang smiled as he looked at Feng Yuji. At this moment, Feng Yuji was completely naked in front of him. With a thought from Chen Shang, the balls of qi inside each pill furnace were split into 12 small balls, which then quickly converged and merged together, eventually forming into a bubble-like pellet. I'm done refining. Chen Shang took out a relatively large jade box. With a wave of his hand, the magic method furnace disappeared and all of the Tianshan Dan fell into the jade box. 10 batches, 12 pills per batch, a total of 120 pills. All of them were of high quality. All the experts in the refining process had witnessed the entire process without any cheating whatsoever. Monster! LV Jen exclaimed. If a sacred pill could be used to refine such a method, wouldn't it be overturning the heavens? Chapter 1756. Feng Yuji knew that she had lost. No matter how hard she tried, she was unable to surpass Chen Shang. However, she did not give up on concocting the pill, she only exhaled lightly and continued to focus on concocting. Chen Shang also patiently waited for Feng Yuji to win this match. Originally, he could have mocked Feng Yuji, but he felt that something was wrong, because Feng Yuji had appeared very calm and collected, giving him a bad premonition. Sister Kilian, do you have more spirit liquid with you? Chen Shang sent a sound transmission to LV Kilian who was at the side. Munger and the others have followed me to the divine prison, and lost 5,000 years of time. I plan to refine a few more holy pellets so that they can hurry up and catch up. Not much, I will give all my spirit liquid to Shang Yu and Mei Yao. It seems that I have to teach them the alive slain method from now on. LV Kilian asked. You can refine holy pellets now. Alright, I'll refine some for you from now on. We will take some time to refine some spiritual beads together and duplicate a large amount of divine medicine. At that time, I can refine a large amount of divine pellets. Chen Shang chuckled. LV Kilian was unable to reject Chen Shang, and could only silently agree. Seeing how amazing Chen Shang had been concocting pills just now, she also hoped that Chen Shang would be able to concoct a large amount of holy pellets for her in the future. After less than an hour, Feng Yuji had already succeeded in condensing her pellets. Her ability in refining 8 Tianshan Dan was already stronger than many of the alchemists, but she still lost to Chen Shang. Seniors, please evaluate the outcome of this match. Chen Shang stood up and laughed. You win this round, Feng Yuji immediately said, but her expression was extremely serious, causing the smile on Chen Zhang's face to disappear. Su Meiyao and the others were all surprised to see their own mother revealing such a serious expression. Usually, Feng Yuji was called a mischievous girl who spent her days laughing merrily. What they did not know was that Feng Yuji no longer had that much confidence in her victory. If she lost, she would be crippled by Chen Shang for 2 hours. Rest for 2 hours before the second match. After Feng Yuji finished speaking, she walked into the house. The first time she lost to Chen Shang, there was no one by her side, but now, with so many people watching, what made things worse was that after she lost a Chen Shang, can't you just let her go? Su Meiyao sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang. She did not know about the bet between Chen Shang and him. If I give it to her, she'll be even more upset. Chen Shang said. Right now, I am also testing my own strength. Lu Fusheng walked over and asked with a smile, Little brother, what is the highest level of holy pellet you can refine now? Low-grade Saint Pill, Chen Shang replied. I can just concoct, and it might take a while for a mid-ranked holy pellet. Lu Fusheng wanted Chen Shang to help him refine a holy pellet, but that was a mid-ranked holy pellet. If you can concoct a mid-grade Saint Pill, would you be able to help me? Lu Fusheng asked. Of course, it's fine. This is pretty good for me to learn how to forge a phone. Chen Shang laughed. Welcome. The Grandma LV said. The next step is to refine Dragon Blood Saint Dan right. This kind of pellet with a strong body is not easy to refine either, and it's even using the holy level dragon pellet, it would definitely take a lot of time. It will take a long time. Chen Shang nodded. If it was just refining one furnace, to Chen Shang, it would only take 2 to 4 hours. After that, he would have to concoct 10 batches, which would definitely take a longer time. Chen Shang talked for a relatively long time, but that was only for a few hours. In the eyes of the strong and Grandma LV and the others, it was just a few days, but for people like them who had lived for so many years, waiting for a few dozens of days was nothing. Do you have any gains in the Chaos Realm? Because I am truly sorry for coming back, for making all of you gather here. Chen Shang said somewhat guiltily. It's fine, we will be back in a while anyway. The next time we enter, it should be soon. When that happens, you should come along as well. LV Jen laughed. The Chaos Realm is a little mysterious, but there are a lot of resources inside. Right now, we have yet to encounter any dangers inside, but that does not mean that there aren't any. Bai Yaowei said. Just as Chen Shang was chatting with the rest, Su Meiyao suddenly shouted out, Mother! This is... Everyone was stunned immediately. Chen Shang turned his head and saw an unfamiliar yet beautiful woman walk out from the house. Her face was covered by a thin pink veil, and she was wearing a light pink dress that revealed her enchanting collarbone as well as her small breasts. Chen Zhang's heart skipped a beat. He knew that this unfamiliar woman was indeed Feng Yuji, but she was using her own appearance. Feng Yuji revealed her true face and wore that light pink long skirt, making the charm of her body even more oppressive. Chen Shang looked at her pair of mysterious and charming eyes, and almost lost in thought. The slowly approaching Feng Yuji had smiles in her beautiful eyes as she strode forward with Na's graceful steps. Her entire body was filled with an uncontrollable charm. Even LV Zhen, Bai Yaowei and Lu Fusheng, who had a certain level of resistance against this kind of power, had no choice but to silently circulate their powers to resist it. Su Meiyao and the other goddaughters were naturally all right. Feng Yuji had not fully revealed her features when she arrived in front of the purple sky 10 furnace. She gracefully sat on the ground and stared at Chen Shang with her beautiful eyes that were brimming with magic. The moment Feng Yuji came out, Chen Zhang's eyes went straight. He had seen Feng Yuji's portrait before, but that portrait was too powerful, causing him to instantly fall into a muddled state. He had been immersed in it for many days, and had even forgotten about its appearance. Seeing Feng Yuji's captivating eyes, Chen Shang almost sunk into them. Luckily he reacted in a hurry and closed his eyes, but Feng Yuji's half-covered face and eyes that were filled with enchantment kept on appearing in his mind. This woman actually wants to use this invitation to interfere with me. This way, I won't be able to refine pills peacefully. What a good method. Chen Shang cursed in his heart. Only after activating the demon-subduing heart art was he able to erase the illusory image in his mind. Seeing that Chen Shang was distracted and almost captivated by her, LV Kilian, Su Meiyao and the other girls were secretly gloating in their hearts. Chen Shang said as he sent a sound transmission to Feng Yuji, "You are being shameless also, didn't you say that you would show me your true face when I take down the Mei Emperor? Quote. Didn't you want to see me back then? What's more, I haven't finished reading it yet. In the bet that we signed, there seems to be no one who doesn't allow me to use my true face." Feng Yuji responded with an extremely happy laugh. In order to not lose to Chen Shang, Feng Yuji was already going all out. Chapter 1757. Feng Yuji's technique was very powerful. She had used her inherent strength to attract others' attention and disturbed Chen Zhang's mind. This way, Chen Shang would definitely be affected while concocting pills, and if she was unable to use her strongest ability, she would be able to win against Chen Shang. Did this because she was acting a little shamelessly, and in front of so many people at that. It seemed that in order to not be ravaged by Chen Shang for even an hour, she did not even care about her reputation. Let's rest a bit longer and start refining the Dragon Blood Saint Dan. This time, we'll continue with another 10 batches. Feng Yuji chuckled, looking at Chen Shang who had his eyes closed. His smile became even sweeter. Even if Chen Shang did not open his eyes, he could still refine pills. In order to prevent Feng Yuji from using his charm to disrupt his state, he decided to refine pills with his eyes closed. As long as she did not read it, everything would be fine. Chen Shang thought so, but who knew that after he closed his eyes and meditated for a while, Feng Yuji's half-covered face, as well as her beautiful body that was dressed in a light pink dress, were still unforgettable in his mind. He had already used the demon-subduing heart art, but the effects were not too obvious. How could this be? Chen Shang was a little anxious. If this continued, he would definitely not be able to focus on concocting pills. Your demon-suppressing heart mantra is used to deal with Mei Emperor, but Feng Yuji is different from Mei Emperor. She seems to be much more powerful. Right now, she is using her charm to attack you. However, this attack is very strange and cannot be discovered by others, even you are unable to detect it. Long Shui said. Chen Zhang's beautiful and alluring body always appeared in Chen Zhang's mind. She was dressed even less, half of her breasts were exposed, her face revealed a mesmerizing shallow smile, her entire body was filled with seductive charm, and even worse, she was currently performing a kind of seductive dance. When she changed her posture, she would always reveal a bit of a spring light, which made Chen Shang unable to stop. Chen Shang had already closed his eyes at this time, but the captivating images kept flashing past his mind. Gradually, he heard Feng Yuji's coquettish smile, and from time to time, she would even let out a soft moan that captivated him. At this time, in everyone's eyes, Chen Shang seemed to be enduring a huge amount of pain. His head was covered in perspiration. Aunt Feng, you are pushing yourself into a pit of fire. Originally, I wasn't very interested in you, but now Chen Shang sent a sound transmission to Feng Yuji. He hoped that Feng Yuji would stop, otherwise he would not be able to refine those 10 batches of dragon blood Saint Dan. Feng Yuji did not reply, she just sat there cross-legged and stared blankly at Chen Shang. She was rather surprised at Chen Zhang's calmness. She had already attacked for such a long time, yet Chen Shang was still able to endure. Seeing that it was about time, Feng Yuji immediately retracted his hand. You can start now. Feng Yuji smiled sweetly. Her eyes were extremely enchanting as they flickered with Xiaobo, as if she was smiling. Chen Shang let out a long exhale. Feng Yuji's suicidal flirtatious dance finally stopped, and gradually disappeared from his mind. The blood ginseng was also out of Feng Yuji's possession. She seemed to have the ability to copy holy levels medicinal herbs, but after Chen Shang received the blood ginseng, he realized that the quality of the blood ginseng was not good, so he thought that Feng Yuji's copy of the blood ginseng spirit liquid was not as good as his. This might be copied by Sister Mei Yao. Chen Shang carefully examined the 10 blood ginseng, then released the 9. Just as he was about to begin, Feng Yuji suddenly threw a Mei Yao towards him, causing his entire body to tremble. Is this woman planning to disturb me while I'm refining pills? Chen Zhang's heart thumped. If that was the case, then the next test would be extremely harsh, and he might fail halfway. Chen Shang comforted himself in his heart. As long as he could endure through this ordeal, defeating Feng Yuji would be the time for him to take revenge. This woman clearly only used her powerful charm power on me, so no one else was affected. Chen Shang did not start. Instead, he frowned and looked at Feng Yuji, both her beautiful and enchanting eyes, and her delicate body which was covered by a pink long dress. It was as if he wanted to carefully observe every inch of her body. It was not the first time Chen Shang looked at her in such an unbridled manner. At this moment, she was still trying to please Chen Shang, and would blink her eyes and smile charmingly at him from time to time. Is there any way to deal with this woman? Long Shui also knew the reason why Chen Shang had yet to begin. If Chen Shang did not have a way to deal with Feng Yuji's enticing power, he would most likely lose in the beginning. Chen Shang said, I am currently looking for a method from the heavenly alchemy. There is definitely a method in the heavenly alchemy, but I need to understand it myself, and that will take me some time. In order to successfully refine pills, Chen Shang had to first find a method to cultivate and stabilize his mind through the heavenly alchemy. Refining a dragon blood Saint Dan would require a bit of time, and it was the same even for Feng Yuji. But in Chen Zhang's eyes, it was something that could be refined very quickly, so he was still calmly searching for a method to counter Feng Yuji within the heavenly alchemy. Aren't you going to start? It's been an hour. Feng Yuji frowned slightly and asked softly. Chen Shang really wanted to scold her for a bit. He still hadn't started it yet because he was worried that Feng Yuji would use that kind of enticing power on him midway. Everyone frowned, because Chen Shang was using perverted eyes to stare at Feng Yuji, as though he had fallen into Feng Yuji's seductive trap. But everyone understood that if Chen Shang had started, at the critical moment, when Feng Yuji had launched that formless charm attack, something would have definitely happened to him. It's more important to look at beauties. If you can take off the gauze covering your face, it would be even better. Chen Shang smiled faintly, although he looked like a miscreant on the outside, but he was rapidly analyzing the heavenly alchemy in his mind, searching for what he needed from the profound chants. Are you trying to deal with me? I am not a Mei Emperor, I am not that easy to deal with. Feng Yuji laughed tenderly. You can only blame yourself for being too weak. Look, everyone here is fine, you were the only one who almost lost it. Chen Shang cursed in his heart. The other people were fine, it was because she did not concentrate her attacks on others but had instead used all her strength on him. It had been 2 hours and Chen Shang still hadn't started. Feng Yuji's progress on the other hand, was extremely smooth, because she was currently in a very good mood and was displaying it very well. Got it. Chen Shang finally found a way out of the heavenly alchemy. I wonder if this soul lock technique will work. I can only try it out now. Chen Shang immediately understood the incantation he had found and then began to circulate it silently. Chen Shang suddenly closed his eyes, but he was not refining pills, which caught his attention, as Chen Shang had been staring at her the whole time, but now he was staring at her instead, as if he was training. Chapter 1758. Refining Dragon Blood Saint Dan was also something that Chen Shang was an expert at. If it wasn't for the fact that Feng Yuji would secretly trick him, he had a 100% assurance that he could defeat Feng Yuji. As long as he could resist Feng Yuji's enticing power, he would be able to defeat her quickly. The soul lock art can stabilize one's mind and prevent one's mind from being affected by external forces. Beneath Chen Zhang's soul in the divine sense sea, a set of Taiji arrays suddenly appeared. This is Taiji Protector. I have already activated the soul lock art and am currently protecting my mind. Chen Shang was finally going to start refining. Waving his hand, 10 blood ginseng floated into the pill furnaces, and like refining Tianshan Dan, he released the Chuangzhou fire, used the Tai Chi God purification, and started refining the blood ginseng. Just like before, when he used Yanlong furnace and the 9 magic method furnace S to refine pellets, everyone could also see the changes happening inside clearly from the magic method furnace. Now I am going to refine Dragon Blood Saint Dan with all my might. In order to catch up with Feng Yuji, Chen Shang had immediately released a strong innate ability. The originally ordinary flames suddenly turned into a silver-white color, wrapping the blood ginseng inside the pill furnace. It was the pure dragon blood chi inside the blood ginseng. The blood contract continued to spill and floated upwards, converging at the top of the pill furnace. It slowly rotated and turned into a small cyclone that emitted a weak red light. Other than that, in order to condense more pills, Chen Shang had also secretly added a bit of the power of the alive slain method, which could duplicate a bit of the blood chi. This way, he would be able to surpass his limits and condense even more pills. Seeing how fierce Chen Shang was from the beginning, with just a slight burn, he was able to turn the Dragon Blood Saint Dan into blood chi. Feng Yuji was shocked. She could already tell that Chen Shang was still hiding his strength, and Chen Shang did not use that silver flame previously. Feng Yuji blinked and gave Chen Shang a flirtatious glance. At that moment, Chen Zhang's body trembled and he almost lost his consciousness. So powerful, Chen Shang never thought that after using the soul lock art, he would actually almost be defeated. He had just learned the soul lock technique and hadn't mastered it enough, so his defensive power was limited. In order to avoid being disturbed by Feng Yuji while he was refining the pills, Chen Shang immediately used the power of the spatial laws to form a spatial barrier that enveloped himself and the 10 pill furnaces. This way, Feng Yuji's charm attack wouldn't be able to penetrate his spatial barrier, and would become much weaker. Feng Yuji's charm attack was extremely strange. Previously, Chen Shang thought that it was a spiritual attack, but after he released the spatial barrier, he realized that Feng Yuji did not immediately use his divine power to attack him, but could continue to disturb his state of mind. A spatial barrier can still have some effect. At the very least, that sort of power isn't that great. Chen Shang heaved a sigh of relief. At this moment, he was under Feng Yuji's continuous attacks, but under his spatial barrier and the defense of his soul lock art, that kind of bewitching attack did not disturb Chen Shang from refining the pellet. This kid actually found a way to defend himself in such a short amount of time. He's really amazing, Feng Yuji thought, and clenched his teeth. Just when Chen Shang was relieved, Feng Yuji suddenly took off her pink veil, revealing her beautiful and alluring face, which could captivate the soul. When he saw Feng Yuji's complete appearance, Chen Shang almost couldn't breathe. It wasn't because he was bewitched by Feng Yuji's beauty, but that face was simply too bizarre. The unceasing bewitching power could penetrate space and directly attack his mind. Feng Yuji was indeed very beautiful, and could be said to be even more beautiful than LV Kilian and Su Meiyao who were at the side. But even so, it was simply impossible to confuse Chen Shang. Chen Shang had seen a lot of beauties in the past few years, and there were also quite a few absolute beauties who were on good terms with him, so he would not be confused by the other party's beauty. Right now, it was mainly on Feng Yuji's beautiful face that there was a special kind of power. The moment Feng Yuji took off the veil, Chen Zhang's 10 pill furnaces started to tremble, and Chen Shang felt a very strong and strange energy suddenly rushing towards him. Eyes. Chen Shang immediately closed his eyes. He felt that Feng Yuji's face must contain some kind of mysterious power that was hard to explain. He then used her beautiful eyes to guide him. Anyone who was stared at by her would be attacked by her strongest charm. When Su Meiyao saw that Feng Yuji had revealed her true appearance and used her most charming power to attack Chen Shang, he realized that Feng Yuji was very focused on winning or losing, but this was not because of face. If it was because of a face issue, Feng Yuji would not do such a shameless action. It was clear that it was for another reason. No one present was stupid. They immediately understood that there must be some sort of bet between Feng Yuji and him, but they did not say it out loud. Chen Shang, who had his eyes closed, started to tremble. He looked extremely uncomfortable, but Feng Yuji did not seem to have the intention of stopping because she could not lose. The soul lock art is also useless. Chen Zhang's mind surfaced dozens of Feng Yuji's thin clothes. Their entire bodies were naked, and they twisted their chubby bodies that were drenched in thin clothes, dancing in a kind of enchanting dance that would make people intoxicated if they saw it. The evil desire in Chen Zhang's heart was constantly being throbbed and crazily magnified. In order to prevent himself from collapsing, he was using an extremely extreme method to suppress it. Now he understood why a person like Zhang Sheng would bow down under the Mei Emperor's dress all those years ago. Now, he had also experienced the power of this charm, and it was truly difficult for one to control it. This charm power must have entered through my eyes. Although I only took a glance, it has already entered into my soul. This is a power that will be tricked the moment I see it, surpassing the boundary of space and time. Chen Shang tried his best to maintain his calm, and at the same time, controlled the pill furnace to stabilize and analyze the powerful charm power of Feng Yuji. As long as he had seen Feng Yuji's face, no matter how much time passed, as long as Feng Yuji was near him and worked, he would be confused. Because from the moment he saw Feng Yuji's face, the charming power of Feng Yuji had already been deeply branded in his mind. Not only him, but everyone else had as well. Before, Feng Yuji had also said that if Chen Shang wanted to see her appearance, he would only harm himself. If you admit defeat, I will immediately stop. Feng Yuji's voice echoed in Chen Zhang's mind. She was also worried that if this continued, Chen Shang would get damaged. We will never admit defeat. Chen Shang responded, and even laughed wildly, making it hard for Feng Yuji to understand. Chen Shang continued to endure, but he continued to randomly circulate the heavenly alchemy. This actually made him feel better, at least he did not immediately collapse. Feng Yuji clenched her teeth, and continued to work hard at Chen Shang. Originally, she thought that Chen Shang would not be able to hold on for long, and that all the pill furnaces would be blown up, but who knew where the 10 pill furnaces were, after an hour. In order to deal with Chen Shang, Feng Yuji had to slow down his pace of refining pills. At this moment, the two were not only competing on pill refining, but also competing on soul. Time slowly passed, night and day alternated, and very quickly, a day had passed. The crowd by the side transmitted their voices to each other. They did not expect the pill refining competition to turn out like this, but they admired Chen Zhang's perseverance to last so long. Even Feng Yuji had to admit that Chen Zhang's perseverance was terrifying. She had heard from Su Meiyao and the other goddaughters that Chen Shang was an extremely lecherous little demon, but when she used her beautiful illusions to attack him, he did not seem to be distracted at all. Instead, he managed to endure it and blamed Su Meiyao and the others silently, because Chen Shang was not as shameless as she had imagined. Chen Shang only needed to continuously circulate the heavenly alchemy's spirit refinement scripture to allow him to constantly stabilize his mind. However, this could only prevent him from being defeated by Feng Yuji. If he were to continue refining the pill, he would have to work even harder. Boundless spirit refinement. Chen Shang used the infinite refining and the godly training method to cultivate his own soul and keep it in an active and constantly increasing state. His goal was to refine the charm imprint that Feng Yuji had branded in his soul so that he would not be able to escape from Feng Yuji's charm power. However, this was not that easy. After trying for several hours, he was only able to gradually stabilize his mind. He was still closing his eyes, but it was not as uncomfortable as before. It was just that he was still sweating profusely. It seems like there's no other way to get rid of her at this point. I can only continue on like this. Chen Zhang's mind still held all sorts of flirtatious thoughts of Feng Yuji. This had appeared in the deepest part of his heart that was the hardest to defend against, a place that attracted the flames of evil in the depths of his heart, wanting to ignite it and cause him to collapse. But now, Chen Shang could only continue to suppress the flames and at the same time concoct pills. He knew that if he persevered, he would definitely not be able to suppress it, so he changed his strategy. As long as he could refine 10 batches of Dragon Blood Saint Dan, it would be the end. In the bottom of Feng Yuji's heart, he was still wondering when Chen Shang would be tortured to the point of collapse, but then he realized that the silver fireballs in the 9 magic method furnace suddenly released waves after waves of blood-red fog. Chen Shang had actually started. The blood mist within the silver ball of fire leaked out at an extremely fast speed. This was the result of Chen Shang exhausting all of his ability and urging the flames to quickly refine the blood ginseng. Under the silver flames, the rotation of the Taiji array became faster and faster, and many spirit grain appeared. The blood mist that leaked out from the spirit grain covered the silver fireball, and like a tornado, it quickly gathered at the upper layer of the furnace. Chen Shang had been tormented by Feng Yuji for an entire day and night, causing him to slow down his concocting speed. However, he was still struggling to hold on, and keep the blood ginseng from being burned by the silver flames. No, I have to increase my power. If Feng Yuji didn't have to use her charm power to deal with Chen Shang, she would refine Dragon Blood Saint Dan very quickly. You have no chance. Chen Shang felt that Feng Yuji's charm was gradually increasing. When he suddenly roared, the 9 magic method furnace's blood light suddenly erupted. In that short moment, everyone could see the silver flames fiercely strengthen, and then wildly enter the blood ginseng's body, exploding outwards. The expanded blood ginseng turned into pure medicine aura and gathered at the upper layer of the pill furnace. It instantly turned into a cyclone, and then was quickly split into 3 balls. 3 pills. LV Gen could not help but shout in shock. Chapter 1759. Feng Yuji also saw that Chen Zhang's 9 magic method furnace had 3 blood-glowing Dragon Blood Saint Dan's. All of these happened very quickly. She never thought that Chen Shang, who had been distracted by her all this while, would suddenly refine the Dragon Blood Saint Dan after stubbornly resisting for a period of time. All of these things were done in an instant, so fast that Feng Yuji did not even have time to react. Aside from that, condensing 3 Dragon Blood Saint Dan's was similarly shocking, because Feng Yuji's own limit was also only 2 of them. Feng Yuji retracted her charm attack, causing Chen Shang to instantly relax, and his face revealed a pleased smile. Twice, Feng Yuji lost so thoroughly, especially this time, she even used some underhanded methods, but she couldn't win against Chen Shang at all. You win. Feng Yuji bit her lower lip and snorted. She was still refining her Dragon Blood Saint Dan, and had admitted his defeat twice, so the judge who was invited did not need to give any evaluation. After 2 hours, Feng Yuji managed to condense the pellet successfully. She was able to refine 2 Dragon Blood Saint Dan's per furnace, and the quality was also not bad. The reason why Chen Shang came to the Divine Feather Holy Nations was to see Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu, and now that he had met them, and even defeated Feng Yuji, it could be said that the harvest on this trip was extremely plentiful. Seeing that Feng Yuji's beautiful face revealed a trace of fear, Chen Shang laughed and sent a sound transmission to him. I'll let you fulfill your promise in a while. Don't worry, I'm very gentle. Humph. Furthermore, there was still a contract, and Feng Yuji could not go back on his words. Seeing the mischievous smile on Chen Zhang's face, Feng Yuji knew that Chen Shang would not show mercy at that time. Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu were still staying here. Although they were strong now, they were still unable to defeat the Mei Emperor. They were now the targets of the Mei Emperor, so they had to stay and raise their strength. Chen Shang, LV Gen and the others chatted for a while before they returned to Yuming Deep Abyss. Little scoundrel, are you really going to take that Feng Yuji away, eh? Long Shui laughed. Aren't you afraid that Sister Meiyao and the others will scold you to death? Chen Shang said, I'm not that stupid. Before I figure out Feng Yuji's true identity, I didn't bother to touch her, but when she seduced me previously, I really wanted to eat her. Feng Yuji is indeed mysterious, but she is not a bad person. At the very least, she treats Sister Meiyao and the others very well, just that she is a little mischievous. Long Shui laughed. Chen Shang, Qi Shi and Zhang Sheng would arrive not long after he returned. Do you have the whereabouts of the Ice Emperor? When Chen Shang returned, he was full of anger. He had long wanted to kill 1 or 2 strong of Lord Stage S who participated in the attack on Evil Dragon Graveyard. Yes, they have all entered the Chaos Realm. It is said that their people in the Chaos Realm have sent back news, and some things appeared in the Chaos Realm, so they have all rushed over. Qi Shi said. They have all gone to the Chaos Realm. Isn't this the best time for us to attack them? Long Shui came out of the ring, and said in surprise. This is definitely not the best time. After they return, they must have prepared a good plan to defend you. If we attack their holy nations, the forces they left behind will be able to resist us for a period of time. Then, they can quickly return. Zhang Sheng shook his head. Huang Jintian said, to capture the thief, we should first capture the king. Why not also enter the Chaos Realm, and kill all those great emperors inside one by one, then go back and take off their holy nations. Furthermore, an important treasure has appeared in the Chaos Realm, we must go and take a look. Even if we cannot obtain it, we cannot let them obtain it. Quote. Qi Shi and Zhang Sheng agreed with what Huang Jintian said. Chen Shang considered for a moment, then nodded. Alright, we will enter Chaos Realm right now. I also want to go in and see what's so miraculous about it. Then let's go now. Zhang Sheng took out his boat, and they entered inside. He controlled the boat to quickly fly away from Yuming Deep Abyss. Have you guys explored the profound cold ancient realm during this period of time? Chen Shang asked. There should be many secrets hidden inside. I've been there. I almost couldn't come back that time. Qi Shi immediately said with a trace of lingering fear on his face. What's going on? Long Shui had rarely seen Qi Shi this scared. There are many powerful evil spirits sealed in an area inside. After I did not want to enter that area, I was surrounded by those evil spirits, and then I hid in the east for over a year before finding the exit. When Qi Shi thought back to this moment, his heart still palpitated with fear. I suspect that those evil spirits were formed from the deities who died in there back then. They're guarding that mysterious area, and I think there's something inside. That area was also covered by an extremely powerful divine technique. After entering, one would be able to leave, but it was extremely difficult. None of those evil spirits were able to leave that divine seal. Huang Jintian asked, are those evil spirits the same as the ones in Night Devil Hell? It's not the same. The Night Devil Hells are very weak. However, those evil spirits in the profound cold ancient realm can kill me in an instant. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm lucky, I might not even have had the chance to go to hell. Quote. Chen Shang asked, why are you going to the profound cold ancient realm? It's all because someone dug out a lot of good stuff during that period of time. They're all things that only the gods' realm have, and I know that there are a lot of things inside that can make people stronger, so I went deeper in to take a look. Who would have thought that it would be so deadly? Qi Shi sighed. This has already been going on for thousands of years, I don't dare go again. If you want to go, you better prepare well. Zhang Sheng controlled the boat, and quickly flew to the entrance of the Chaos Realm. Just as they were about to enter, a figure suddenly appeared in front of them, and blocked them. Feng Yuji knew that this was Zhang Sheng's boat, and that Chen Shang was inside. Don't go in, Feng Yuji shouted. Why can't I enter? The emperors of the holy nations have already entered to search for treasures, we cannot be left behind. Zhang Sheng said. I just got the news that this Chaos Realm is about to close soon. Once it closes, this Chaos Realm will be completely destroyed. Feng Yuji frowned. Is this true? Shang Yu and Qianqin are still inside. Chen Shang immediately became anxious. For Feng Yuji to suddenly appear and stop them, it was definitely not because he had nothing to do. I've already found them inside. They are already on their way back. Feng Yuji said. Don't worry, many people have already left. The 10 great holy nations' emperor will be out soon. As long as you are inside, you can feel the unstable space. Chapter 1760. Chen Shang was extremely confused. Didn't this Chaos Realm just appear? It's going to be destroyed so soon. Quote. As DTN continued to grow stronger, he would need to absorb the energy from many of these kinds of worlds to become stronger. Not long later, even the endless heaven realm would be devoured, not to mention this little world from before the ancient era. Feng Yuji seemed to understand these things very well. If the Chaos Realm is destroyed, it means that the Chaos Realm cannot continue existing due to the power of DTN. In a few more years, the other heavenly realms will end up the same as the Chaos Realm, having their energy sucked dry by DTN and then swallowed. Qi Shi asked, didn't treasures just appear inside? Why is it about to be destroyed? Quote. Isn't this because of the unstable energy inside the Chaos Realm? Originally, it was sealed, but now, it is very dangerous. If you don't grasp the timing properly, the Chaos Realm will perish along with you. Feng Yuji said, it's best if you all don't go in, it's really very dangerous. Chen Shang looked at the entrance that looked like a gigantic black curtain and sighed, looks like I'm not fated to meet this Chaos Realm. So what are you still doing here? Were you waiting for us? Huang Jintian asked. Of course not, I'm just waiting here for the moment Chaos Realm is destroyed. Just as Feng Yuji finished speaking, 10 figures suddenly flew out from inside, as though they were dozens of rays of light shooting out. In the blink of an eye they disappeared into the distance. It's 10 great holy nations and the rest. They all came out, looks like they know about the situation inside. Feng Yuji said. Chen Shang looked at the group of holy nations emperors and snorted, why are you running so fast? I don't have any plans to kill you yet. Quote. At this time, the Chaos Realm door began to shrink and shrink. Waves of berserk energy and rumbling sounds came out from inside continuously. It's starting, Feng Yuji said. Once this chaos realm is destroyed, it means that something bad is about to happen. What's wrong? Huang Jintian anxiously asked. Everyone knew of Feng Yuji's mysteriousness, and now everyone was able to tell, Feng Yuji definitely knew a lot of things. Chaos Realm was a primitive world before the appearance of the Nine Heaven World in the past. It should have been called the Primal Chaos Realm, but it is now getting smaller and smaller. You should know the reason why, right? Feng Yuji looked at the entrance that was unceasingly erupting with violent energy. Qi said, this is because the Nine Heaven World is becoming more and more powerful, especially DTN, who is already far stronger than many of the heavenly realms. That's right, the destruction of the Chaos Realm is equivalent to being completely swallowed, and the next step is for the Endless Heaven Realm S. Do you think that the gods above the Gods Realm will just sit back and do nothing? Now, it is time for them to discuss on how to handle this Nine Heaven World. Feng Yuji said. Could it be that the Gods Realm is going to intervene and suppress the growth of the Nine Heaven World? Zhang Sheng said. What kind of method will they use? Destroy the Nine Heaven World? Quote. Feng Yuji shook his head. It's already too late, because the Nine Heaven World and the Gods Realm are already linked. Once the Nine Heaven World is destroyed, the entire Gods Realm will become extremely unstable, and even Hell will probably not be spared. How do you know that the Nine Heaven World and the Gods Realm are connected? Huang Jintian asked. This was something no one expected. The Chaos Realm's door had already disappeared, leaving only the berserk energy aura floating around. Feng Yuji sighed. It's progressing bit by bit. If the Chaos Realm was destroyed, the Endless Heaven Realm would also be annexed very soon. I'm not afraid to tell you that the reason the group of gods established the Nine Heaven World back then was to eliminate the existing Gods Realm. So there is the existence of the Nine Heaven Devil Palace. Chen Shang took out a Chaos Fire token. It was something to summon the Nine Heaven Devil Palace. Feng Yuji immediately looked at the Chaos Fire token in Chen Zhang's hands and nodded. The gods above God's realm thought that with the death of the group of Nine Heavens gods, Nine Heaven World would not have been able to achieve anything. Not to mention that the most important person in Nine Heaven World back then, DTN, was destroyed. But who would have thought that when that group of Nine Heavens gods created the Nine Heaven World, they had put in a lot of effort and even blended themselves into this Nine Heaven World, so the Nine Heaven World had always been operating quietly, gathering energy and suddenly strengthening a while ago. Furthermore, a large half of the space had already fused with the God's realm. Huang Jintian anxiously took out their ancestral book and recorded all of these important things. So you're saying, once the Nine Heaven World is destroyed, a gap will appear in the God's realm. Qi also felt that the situation was serious. This was because for all these years, the reason why Hell Devil Emperor could not use too much of his power in the Nine Heaven World, was because of the restrictions imposed by the God's realm. Seeing the serious look on Chen Shang and the others' faces, Feng Yuji chuckled, and said, it's not as scary as you think. All divine palaces would not be so rash as to let Hell Devil Emperor do whatever he wants here. To the many gods in all divine palaces, this Nine Heaven World is a good place. As long as they are not stupid, they would know that we have to occupy a piece of land here, and not let Hell Devil Emperor come here to destroy it. Long Shui said, does the God's realm's influence have to extend to here? Feng Yuji nodded his head and said, it's very possible, but they are still a group of people with more rules, so they shouldn't be able to disturb the original order of this place. After the Nine Heaven World becomes strong, excellent gods will also be born in the future. For the God's Realm's Divine Hall, this is a pretty good resource. Quote. How do you know so much? Chen Shang suddenly asked. I just know. What can you do about it? Feng Yuji stuck her tongue out at Chen Shang. Her current appearance was already covered, and was only used to cover up her ordinary face. Long Shui said to Chen Shang in a low voice, I'll go to the Hundreds of Flowers Palace to look for Munger and the rest. I won't be with you for the time being. Long Shui did this to give Chen Shang and Feng Yuji space to talk alone. Only in this way would Feng Yuji be able to talk more. Qi and the others also realized something, and immediately said that they had something to do and wanted to leave. Very quickly, only Chen Shang and Feng Yuji was left. It's time to keep your promise. Chen Shang chuckled. Are you really going to do that to people? Feng Yuji bit her lower lip with a bitter face as she spoke softly. She had actually acted like a spoiled child. Well, you can only blame yourself for seducing me so. Now I close my eyes and my mind is filled with the wet dance of your legs, your breasts, and your big, perky ass. Chen Shang laughed even more. Feng Yuji felt a wave of bashfulness. She knew perfectly well how she had seduced Chen Shang, and she also knew very well that her seductive powers were very strong. It was impossible for Chen Shang to not think of her. Chen Shang laughed. Since we have already signed the agreement, it will always be valid. I remember that in order to prevent me from reneging on my words, the contract was extremely harsh, even the winning side could not give it up. That's right, but you just need to lock me up in the secret room for 2 hours. If you don't do anything, you'll be able to pass through, or you can even touch me a little. You can stop being like me. Feng Yuji looked at Chen Shang with a pitiful gaze. If I know my wrongs, then let me go. If I let you go, what will I do? You should be clear about the depth of the poison you have inflicted on me. Unless you can help me get rid of your enticing power, I will be the only one suffering. Chen Shang also had a pitiful look on his face. Feng Yuji bit her red lips. At that time, in order to allow herself to win, she had indeed lost her mind, and the seductive power she used on Chen Shang was extremely powerful, and had already been deeply branded in the place where Chen Zhang's soul was the deepest. It could be said that every so often, she would act up again and again, and at that time, Chen Shang would be tormented by that sort of evil desire. There was still a need for someone else to remove the bell, so it was not unreasonable for Chen Shang to be so certain of her. Can you give me some time? I'll think of a way to help you. At that time, even if you don't do that to me, I can still deal with it. How about I make Mei Yao be with you, so that when you are in a difficult situation, Feng Yuji was unable to continue. Alright, I'll give you a bit of time. I am a reasonable person to begin with. Chen Shang laughed. But you have to be quick, you should know, this mental poison is not something that Sister Mei Yao can cure, so I will endure for a while. Hearing Chen Zhang's words, Feng Yuji was immediately happy, and anxiously smiled gently. You're really a good man, it's not as bad as what Sister Mei Yao says. In a while, Big Sis will definitely help you get rid of all these. After saying this, Feng Yuji felt that something was amiss, and asked softly, are you really that kind to let me go just like that? I keep feeling that what you're doing is really stupid, that the ducks close to your mouth will just be let go like that. Quote. Feng Yuji was full of confidence in herself, and she had bewitched Chen Shang before, so even now, Chen Shang was still suffering from her bewitching power. Even if Chen Shang wanted to do something to her, she couldn't say anything, and could only grit her teeth and endure. I told you I'm not that kind of person. Chen Shang curled his lips and said, if you want, then let's quickly find a place to settle this matter. I don't really care anyway. Feng Yuji's background was very mysterious, so Chen Shang decided to figure out her background first. Furthermore, if Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu were to know of this matter, he would definitely find it very troublesome in the future, because they would already treat Feng Yuji as their own mother. Alright, I promise you, sister. As long as it's only 1 year, I won't be able to help you get rid of the charm power in your soul. At that time, I'll use myself to help you deal with it. Feng Yuji was very grateful to see Chen Shang giving her the chance to speak so easily. Therefore, she praised him by saying that he would make such an alluring promise.